Hello and welcome to the Crunchin podcast, where we take a bite out of the convention going experience. Today, I am joined by my good buddy Charlie. We're going to talk all about Smallville and have a nice small talk. How you doing?
I'm pretty super, sir. I'm pretty super. I'm pretty super excited about this. So one might say this is an Uber day.
An Uber day? Yeah, just like Uberman, my favorite superhero.
Yeah. I can't do it too well.
Right on. So I think I kind of want to start with probably a big one that you want to get off your chest here is going in to do an episode of Talkville. I know you probably don't want to spoil too much, but maybe reveal what you can about what you got up to yesterday. And
well, Wednesday morning, if you really enjoy Smallville and if you enjoy that show, hey bud, the show Smallville and really enjoy those actors, they're doing a whole entire thing of the entire show of rewatching it, and I got to join in and say my piece, and I think that's all I can actually say. But just stay tuned on Wednesday morning when it airs.
There's a good. So that's going to be Talkville on the is it Tom Welling's YouTube page or
no? They got theirs
called Talkville the page.
Yeah, Talkville podcast. Yeah,
I'll post that in the description after too. With awesome. That one, I'll link it once it comes out live.
I should be able to do it a whole lot more regularly if I was not limited. Again, I can do only so much on this one. But
so Charlie's on his phone here.
Sorry, guys.
Get his laptop working, but it seems to be working all right. I'm not worried about it.
I just got induced with gamma radiation over here. Completely different universe. Oh man!
All right, so that's the plug at the start here for Charlie on his Talkville episode coming out on Wednesday.
And they're
Wednesday, December the 11th.
So God, that's December. How? This year went by fast.
Yeah, Christmas is coming up quick.
Indeed. Someday soon, a holiday special, but we'll get to that eventually.
Yeah. Oh God, Life Day.
Indeed.
Are we all gonna have to watch it together? Is that?
I watch that every year. Every year I watch that. That's a whole different thing. But that's every year, and nothing's gonna stop me. There's a little reference in there that I would sing, but I don't want to get this copyrighted for you.
That's all right. Your singing voice would be too perfect. I know it would get copyright stricken, so I appreciate you not doing it.
Yeah, I'm no. I can't do it justice. But anyways, that's all I
got. So why don't you tell us a bit about what got you into Smallville? Let's start from the beginning here. And also, what's your first experience with a Smallville actor?
Amazing question. This will be a little bit long, but I'll do the best I can with it.
That's all right.
I mean, it stretches all the way back to a long time ago in a galaxy not so far away that was here. When I was about knee high to a duck, I back when before DVDs were a thing, when VHSs and Laserdiscs were a thing. I still have some of those that my dad had. I can remember some of my first memories of John Williams playing in my head. Besides the Star Wars theme, it was the Superman theme, and it's always there in my head. And I always remember, listening to the classic, not the Man of Steel one, the original Superman theme song. It's just always been there, and I grew up, watching the original Superman movies, and those are so great, dear to my heart. I will forever love them. So whenever I was, probably at an age where I should not be jumping off houses pretending that I can fly, I got a fascination with that character and many other stuff. Yeah, I remember I was getting ready to start. Oh God, yeah, I was about 12, maybe, probably something like that. But it was around a time when magazines were still a thing, and I'll never forget going to this one store, and I opened up this little magazine that had a thing called, the Frog, and had a WB on it before it became, the CW or anything like that. And I open up this page, and I see this guy, this ridiculously stupid, handsome, funny-looking guy that was strung up on a thing, and it had like an S logo like that, but it was red, and it said, "Every legend has a beginning." And I was like, "What?" And my brain couldn't fathom but it thought it.
Was that, did it just show like his chest in that? It didn't show his face?
It was just the promo for the original title. The original.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember seeing that somewhere.
And I remember looking at that, and I'm like, even as a very young adult, young man, even pre-adult, whatever, looking at that and going, I don't know about that, because Christopher Reeve, that was like my comfort food, my comfort cake, or whatever you want to call it. And I was like, I don't know. But unfortunately, and I elaborate on this on Talkville. Sorry, my camera went out there for a second.
You're good.
Unfortunately, 9/11 happened. And the world kind of turned into a very bad place, and everything was just chaos. So these brilliant writers called Al Goth and Miles Morales want to really jumpstart this series even more, because the entire, this was even before Spider-Man. They were just starting to get that off the ground. So I remember,
they changed scenes in Spider-Man because of or like some of they like worked through different plots in Spider-Man, and the advertising too was a big one.
Yeah, they had to dodge a lot of stuff during that time. But I'll never forget. I watched the first episode of Smallville, and I'll never forget just this. Tom goes on record of saying he never meant to do that, but I swear to you, he even looked like a young Christopher Reeve. He sounded like young Christopher Reeve when he turns, like certain body pose, like he'll turn his whole body before he'll turn his neck, and that just like he has like a cape on automatically. It's little things like that I just noticed that Christopher Reeve would always do. I'm just like, oh my God.
And he pushes his glasses up with his middle finger.
Yeah, just those little mannerisms that I just always noticed. And he did like this little smirk in the first episode where the bus takes off, and he's going to race it like up the field and everything. Whenever he got done, he done this little like that, and he looked exactly like young Christopher Reeve. And after that, I was hooked. I've watched every episode of everything of Smallville. In fact, actually, because of them, I got more into comic books. I'd had a few of them. I looked at the covers and stuff like that. After that, I was hooked. And after that, after I always bought a comic book in my head canon, because we don't use our, I mean, I'm sure some people were, cooler than me or anybody or something like that, but using their own voices. But whenever I did, I used the character's voice when I read them. So if I was reading the Batman comic, I would use Kevin Conroy's voice in my head. If Flash,
I do that too.
Yeah, if I had a Flash comic, I had Michael Rosenbaum's voice. If I had, any Superman, it would either be a blend between Christopher Reeve and Tom Welling. And then I just went down a rabbit hole because of them. Started loving a whole lot more things and stuff like that because of them. The inspired, but Smallville really did start it all. I mean, they revolutionized a bunch of stuff between technology and feats that shows do now, but they were the original ones, and I stuck with them. So that was my first thing with them. But as far as my interaction with my very first Smallville person would have been during Hell Year, aka whenever pandemic crap happened, and we were all stuck at home. Wonderful place called GalaxyCon, you know, was doing like interviews, and I happened to see one of Tom Welling, one of my heroes growing up, and I was like, no way. And so I got a thing with him. I booked it. He accepted, and then I was flabbergasted. And I don't have the video, but I was just, oh god, I was a mess. But I was.
That's the first one you did.
The very first one I ever did in 2020,
Wow.
and he was so nice about everything and so cool about everything. So I just getting to see that you're one of your childhood heroes after so many years, and like seeing, you know, just talking regular stuff with him and everything like that, even for 4 minutes at first. And then the rest was history after that. Then after that, I got Michael Rosenbaum on cameo calls every Monday night. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, no, it was. It was Monday night, and because he would do it for 10 minutes. And I was fanboying out talking to him.
Okay, yeah, that's a website, right? The Cameo.
Yes, they were doing those. They did one with James Marsters, who I talked with frequently. I love that man. He's another cast member on that as well.
Brainiac.
Yes, the Brain Interactive Construct. God, love that man. Yeah. So after that is building, and then I think it was 2021. I met Erica Durance, did a virtual with her. It was the first time she ever did those.
I've seen that one.
Yeah, it's she is such a nice person. She's so funny in real life and everything like that. So she just puts you at ease, because at first you're like, wowzers. Okay, how am I gonna get? Okay, I got this. I'm good. Oh my god, that's Lois Lane. Okay. And everything. So it's like, hey, do you remember the scene where you did you guys fought Kane? Like, what? I was like, oh, the wrestler. She's like, oh yeah, and everything. And it was great after that, because she was so nice. Mm-hmm. But yeah, then after that, I think it would have been Sam Witwer, who, you know, it was I told him about Star Wars, but mostly the back of my head I was like Doomsday and everything like that. And I talked to him, and he was talking about,
he's like an original character too, isn't he? A bit.
Yes.
And then a version of Doomsday.
Yes, Davis Bloom. He was
What's up, JT?
Hello there. Good but
you're talking about Sam Witwer, so it's
yeah,
good timing for JT here.
Yeah, before he was Starkiller, he was a person, a very I guess you could say kind of evil. He was why the hell does that keep trying to do that? Sorry about that. This damn phone. He was a character called Davis Bloom, which if you spell the name backwards, it's Doomsday. It's crazy how they did that.
I never would have known. I'm so stupid.
I never put it together, even so I like wrote it down. I was like, Bloom.
Sounds like
bitch.
Sounds like a somewhat normal name.
Yeah, and so
you just say it.
Yeah, and he was the Kryptonian son of Zod, and I was very curious on after nerding out from Star Wars, I was talking to him. I was like, well, you know, what was it like working with like Tom? He's like, I just remember going, ha, and everything like that. Is like, and he's like, oh man, I love Tom to death, but he is so tall. And he's like, so they had to put like these contacts in my eyes. So I'm like trying to hold him like this in the Fortress of Solitude. I can't see. He's a million different things tall, and I'm like trying to push and be more menacing because my character can basically kill him and everything. And then we both get weakened, and it's like, he's like, man, thank God they were nice, because I was just so small in that show. Such a nice guy. And I don't know, it just kept going from then on, man.
So he's a short king like me then, Sam Witwer.
Short, immortal, doesn't age, has not aged since the 90s.
No, he looks the same still, which is crazy.
He was on Angel in 1999, and he still looks the same. It is witchcraft. I don't get it. But yeah, it was them. After that, then eventually it was the legendary John Glover, who I love so much, and I will take a bullet for that man. I talked to him and had a very polite conversation with him, to say the least, and had another few with him. But the one that really got me was John Schneider when I talked to him. because I had an initial chat with him for, I think it was 7 minutes. I only had him for 7 minutes, and he kept me on for, I think it was either like 11 or 12. He kept going. He wanted to know more about me and everything. And I have nothing but love and respect for that man. And he told me some things that did not make the cut and stuff. And I was like, oh my God. So I loved him, and I got a little funny ninja in that video, but I'm proud of that. And I have no shame in that. And then when Hell Year lifted, we had the first convention back, and thank God, because GalaxyCon did a thing. Man, that was a surreal experience. I did that on the last episode for those who want to know about the story of how my buddy got to urinate beside Michael Rosenbaum. That's on there. That's the story of that when we first sing that. That's the cap on that, if you will, when this clumsy, stupid, tall giraffe came around the corner.
Yeah, in the last podcast that Charlie was on, he talks about the peeing incident and the bumping into Lex Luthor and Clark Kent with his buddy Peek, who was going to join us today, but he couldn't because of a snowstorm.
No, yeah, it is snowing.
It's pretty snowy, yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah, he's
driving in that. That's fine.
No. But he says his hellos and all that sort of stuff, and he said it hopes to be like next time one of these pops up, he'll be gracious enough to pop in. I'm sure he'll love that. He's ridiculous, because he's got his own stories and stuff.
Yeah, I know it's been too long since I've talked to Peek, so that'd be fun.
Yeah, we've had experiences and crazy ones at that.
The professor.
God, yeah, it pisses me off that the comic, because he actually has that title and everything. He got his degree and everything like that, and bachelor's and all this sort of fancy stuff and everything. So he's doing some pretty heavy stuff right now. But hopefully it doesn't turn to Jack Nicholson being snowed in. Now I think about that, oh God. But to answer your question, that's how that happened. Yeah, that was my first interactions with them.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so I've seen that John Glover interview too.
Yeah.
Or whatever, as much as you shared of it anyway.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I remember thinking like, wow, this guy's pretty nice. And the one part I remember, I think I mentioned this on a stream before, is that he said that he's like, you really love life, don't you, Charlie? And he like,
that got me.
Like, that was a cool little interaction you guys had that stuck with me.
Yeah.
For sure.
Thank you, man. And
I met him at Motor City Comic-Con in Michigan, and I was literally like running around meeting so many different actors. Like I met every actor. There was 9 different people, creator and 8 actors from the X-Men animated stuff. So I was like meeting all of them and running around that whole day, and Billy D. Williams was there. So it was just a crazy day, but I ended up meeting John Glover and John Schneider. But I missed John Glover's panel where he was talking about Smallville, and I felt bad, but I was like first in line right after his panel. And he called me an asshole for missing his panel, and I was like, oh well, I'm pretty sorry about that, but I know I'll meet you again some other time. And
oh man, I could hear him.
It just caught me off guard how funny he was when he said
he
that.
is.
He was just joking.
Yeah, he can be the most. I mean,
he didn't mean it.
Yeah, he's like a Tony-winning actor, and like he can do very serious and emotional stuff. So it catches you off guard, and he's like, young man, you call me this, or this, or everything like that. So, sorry, hey man, I'm sorry. No, I'm just going. Come on.
And when I've talked to other actors from Smallville, John Glover is like the most brought up actor of the bunch. I feel like he gets talked about a lot.
He's a vet. He's a big time veteran of the acting world that does not get enough praise. I mean, he was in Scrooge, for God's sakes. With
Scrooge, that's
true. He was in Scrooge. He was in Gremlins. He was in
the Riddler. He was in
the Riddler. For God's sakes. The man has like
he made out with Uma Thurman, didn't he? And
he did.
Batman.
He did. He really lucky bastard.
I'm jealous.
I am too. I remember having such a
90.
crush on Uma Thurman. Oh wait, we're still alive. Crap. Yes. I mean, she was fancy to look at. Fancy to look at.
He was Dr. Woodrow.
Yes, he was.
He told me he got you know how he had a crazy haircut. He was like, that was my idea to do that because I liked the Bride of or was it Young Frankenstein? I think, and the Bride of Frankenstein is in it, has the same haircut. Yeah,
they had two of them. They had the original Bride of Frankenstein from the Karloff days, and then they did. God, my dad would kill me. The original Willy Wonka. Oh God. Anyways, that dude's name, and they went for the parody of that, and oh man, yeah, they did that. So like, yeah, him getting the design for that is just priceless. Like he's
that's Young Frankenstein, the one with is it Gene Wilder?
Yes, thank you.
I kept thinking Gene Hackman, but that's
Gene. Yeah, yep.
We got Gene Superman Wilder, on the brain.
Thank you. That was gonna kill me. Yeah, he was.
Andrew got it too. He said Gene
Wilder.
You,
bud. Thank you, bud.
Probably right when I said it.
Yeah. Oh God. Like he's such a brilliant. Like another thing too. Like I found that he was in because I grew up on like old school movies and RoboCop and stuff like that. Those little infomercials that they would play, and he was like one of the persons that like come out in like the first one. It was one of those. I'd buy that for $1. That thing. So he was
I've seen that for sure.
Oh God, like the one that he was in, this burglar tries to, back when you could still do this, I'm sure you still can, but I'm not going to say too much about that. But whenever you could Jimmy open a door and stuff like that, this burglar tries to do this one car, and the car comes alive, it grabs him and just shocks the crap out of him, and then he falls out of the car, and then you see a guy walk up. It pans down for like just you see the guy's shoes, and the door opens up. The bad guy falls out. Opening, boom, John Glover, and like the early '80s. And it's like, I can't remember the company or name. It's like, remember, you bought it. Does this pleasant little smile, and it's like, or a little infomercial. I'm like, oh my God, that's Lyle Luthor. So
he dies in that movie, doesn't he? Or he gets
he got away in that one. He died in he was telling me about another project that he just done. I watched it finally. Oh my God. Him as Teddy in the Fear of the Walking Dead.
Okay. I haven't seen that show. That's cool.
He was skeptic about that. He's like, I don't know if I can do that anymore. And it's a dark character, but he's very good at doing that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, he was also he was in the Shazam movies too.
Yes, he was. He's such a talented
person. He's all over the place with DC.
God, yeah.
He's like a legend.
Yes, the original Edward Nygma. Like that's just another one I always had in my head too. I mean, I love Jim Carrey and everything, but I never knew that it was John Glover back then though, until like maybe the late 2000s, and I was like, wait, what? And
he only did like 3 or 4 episodes, so it's
I can just hear his voice going 1, 2, and that little like that. I'm like, oh my God, that's him. I was like, that's John Glover, Edward Nygma.
And he's in the Superman, the animated series. He's Edward Nygma for an episode. I think it's like I'm actually just rewatching that again for like the 10th time, but I'm pretty sure he's in like a villain team up episode.
Yes, he's in the original. He's in Batman Beyond, and the New Adventures of Batman. There was one episode where it wasn't Dick Grayson. It was the next Robin was doing. It wasn't Jason Todd. It was Tim Drake. They were doing a thing, and he did that, and he reprised his voice just for exactly the Dark Knight. that he reprised his voice just for like this little thing where Edward Nygma's just like getting hauled away. He's like, "No, Batman!" Like that. And you can tell by the voice. He's like, "Oh my God, it's him!" He came back. He's like, "It was just for one little part. I couldn't resist." So good, man. So good.
Yeah, and I met John Schneider at the same convention, and
Man.
I felt like I was gonna get emotional talking to him because him and Martha Kent were like kind of the top of my bucket list for sure. And he was also just super nice and friendly, and he's like he's out there like standing in front of the table giving everyone a hug as they come by. He's like, everyone's getting selfies with me. I might as well just stand over here and do the autographs. I don't need to sit down. And then yeah, so he gave me a big hug, and he's literally like 6'5", I think, or maybe 6'4.5". Like I think he's taller than Tom Welling, isn't he?
I think. I know whenever they put their
show.
Yeah, I know.
So, I knew he had to be pretty tall.
Yeah, they had to wear like separate different boots from each other and everything. It's really funny how they talk about stuff like this because like he's got to represent Superman, so he's got to be a little bit taller. But at the same time, the dad's got to be certain. So we're like certain things like they'll figure it out. We got to suspend disbelief, guys. Suspend disbelief. You're gonna have to do that in order to get through this. But yeah, man. Like I don't. Earlier in the year, man. Yeah, I don't let too many people like full frontal hug unless or anything like that. Half hug, cool, something like that. Or, arm, cool. But no, like that man, we had after he remembered me from 2 years prior to that. Whenever I went to Mad Monster, and that picture of me, Peek and all them and everything like that. Whenever I seen him, I was going to get him to sign the GalaxyCon picture that they didn't have there. And it immediately go, how they do it. The handlers do the thing. They hand it like over the table. And he looks down at it. He looks over at me. "Charlie." I'm like, "Sir?" And he like comes around the table and everything like that.
That was a good impression.
Ginormous hug. I'm like, "Oh my God." Like, okay. Like this. And I just felt so, I never need that. I never need that. But I was like, I feel safe. Just Jonathan Kent's holding me right now. I'm like, "No, I'm good, sir. I'm good. I'm not. Are you crying, young man?" And he did this, like both hands like that. Like, "I'm good. Keep doing that, though. I'm not gonna be." And I'm fighting. I'm fighting hard. I'm like, "I'm good," and everything.
Yeah, he's got big dad energy. That
God, he does. He just does. Anytime in that show anytime when he said certain things, you listened, and you just doesn't matter what's going on.
He had a lot of great advice for Clark in that show, and John was really good at delivering it.
Oh God, yeah. Watch Talkville for those that you're interested in that. Like he has so much stories from directing episodes to behind the scenes stuff of how he wanted to go out and how he did go out. And in the chat, he told me originally they were not going to have the Superman suit given to him. He was just going to find it in the snow. But he fought for it, and thank God he won that fight. But and that's where the quote came from. It came from him. "Always hold on to Smallville."
Yeah.
And he hands him the suit, and he becomes Superman. Spoilers, but that show's been out forever. So if you haven't seen it, that's your own fault. Yeah, he is. I can't explain it. I've never met an actor that made me feel like that. Because usually it's just cool guy, like still got like good connection, everything like that. But as someone you're just like, damn, I feel safe around him. I don't need it. Yeah. Lord knows I don't need it. But just like, oh man, ugh, my eyes. But yeah, he's such a good person, man. I loved him. I still do. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's that, man. Before I jabble on, did you have anything else in case I like Charlie? Shut up.
Well, I know you had some stories saved up, so you can bring it up if you want.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right on. So yeah, besides Galaxy and a few of those, I'd got when they started Talkville, I got to participate in their watch parties and stuff like that. And it's so cool and so fun watching them. And like they'll be doing this the whole time while watching. Like, I don't remember that and everything like that. Tom had the most ridiculous work schedule known to mankind. He almost died. Fun fact. His work schedule was he would get there before it got light outside, and then he would leave the next day when it was just starting to get dark, like bright outside, like dawn. And
holy crap!
And he at one point, I don't remember the episode, but he was driving there and driving back, and then he crashed. And luckily, Rosenbaum was staying with John Schneider. He let him park his car there, and they seen him. They got him. They're like, "You okay?" Yeah, man, I'm good. Like, no, just shut up and get him. And it turns out, Michael Rosenbaum, John Schneider, John Glover, Kristen Crook, all the cast members and Ed O'Toole, all of them from like the first season, signed this petition and took it to Peter Roth, who was head of Warner Brothers at the time, and was like, "Guys, you need a driver for Tom Welling." Mm-hmm. At that time, this is before all the stuff now, and back then they'd be like, "Oh, what some fancy actor thinks." They're like, "No, you don't understand. You're going to kill our Superman. If you keep this up, he's not going to make it. He's going to burn out. He's going to crash. Something like this. You need to at least." He's already doing enough as it is. If you get, how many seasons you got signed at the time? It was 5. This is before they renewed for 10. And they're like, "Well, if you want 4 more seasons to get to 5, you're going to have to really do some compromising here for this contract. So we will not let this happen. You need to sign this." And Peter Roth eventually signed it. Al Goff and Miles Miller came in. They seen it. It was a no-brainer for them. They went, "Oh my God, nobody was driving him. What the?" and everything like that. And they're like, "Go, please," and everything like that.
They didn't even know.
So no, they did not know. Nobody told them. They were all the way in like Hollywood when they filmed this over where they filmed the Kent farm and then the Luther mansion. Yeah, they did not know nothing about that. So that was a no-brainer for them. But the real trouble was Peter Roth at the time, head of Warner Brothers. It was just like kind of stuck his nose up at the thing. But oh well, whatever. They got it. It was over. But yeah, his work hours were ridiculous because he had to do the acting. He started directing. He started, before his stunt person, Chris, started doing stuff. He was doing most of his stuff. So if you look back at some of the old footage, you will see him doing that. And he's like learning how to take falls and bumps and do land shots that actually like look like they're going to do it. And he's like, "Okay, I have to restrict myself from doing this because I'm going to be more powerful than anything. So I got to put everything back." So he was working that emotional scenes, and it was killing him. It wasn't even kryptonite either. So go figure. It was a really
that's too many hours of anything.
Way
really.
Way too many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That definitely went slide now with the guild and
everything. No. It's so funny and amazing how Smallville changed and revolutionized so many shows that are now and even movies now, like between safety and security and stuff like that. That just people have no idea that they started first. But back what I was saying. So, anyways, we were watching that, and then it's so funny watching their initial thoughts and stuff. They're like, "Oh my God, I remember this now," and everything like that. And then Michael playing Lex, he's like, he always says, "I didn't read the script." He's like, "I'll pull Christopher Walken. I don't read the script. The script reads me," and everything like that. He's like, if I'm not in the scene, I don't need to be there. I don't need to read it. Lex doesn't need to read it. Why should he be there? So the whole mentality, he doesn't know anything about all this. So watching him all these years later, he's like, "Wait, they made you do that?" and everything like that. He's like, "Man, I actually look somewhat good in that." And there's some episodes he's like, what was that? And it's really cool. But this past year, I have seen them at least, well, technically 5 times now, all together in person in like different settings. I got to go to LA for the very first time this past year to one of their events, Talkville Live.
Cool.
It was such a surreal experience. Michael Rosenbaum's band Sunspin was there. And I was beside one of them, and I got to meet Tom Welling's amazing, phenomenal wife, Jessica Welling. She was an amazing human being. I participated in Smallville Nights, which if you don't know what that is, look it up. You get to, if you go to it, you know. You get to reenact certain scenes, which will, it's a build-up brick joke to a thing that I'll pay off in another end thing of it. But I participated in 4 of those, and it's such a surreal experience when you're doing that, and you remember that scene like it's back to back, and you're not an actor or anything like that. I have had stunt performance. I am not a professional actor like JT Lovecraft in chat, if you're still there, who was in A Quiet Place 2, or possibly 1, or possibly both. Who knows these? But anyways, point being, that was not my forte. But yeah. So whenever that happens, and you're just like, okay, you know, they read the pilot scene in the Smallville Nights, you know, where, you know, Clark saves Lex, they go off the build, you know, everything like that, mouth to mouth, go to the Luthor Mansion.
Yeah, when he hits him off the bridge.
Yep. And so they have everybody read the scene of they're like, who do you want? And everything like that. I've got Lex like 90% of the time. I'd always ask for Clark. I finally got Clark in the last one. And I'll build up to that one because that's a really surreal experience. But it's so crazy because they'll demonstrate it first, and Tom's voice, you know, as you get older, as you know, your voice changes. But somehow that magical man, that Kryptonian god, can make his voice sound like a teenage boy again. I don't know how he did it, but that scene where him and Lex are in there, you know, Lex is doing a fancy thing with this, you know, in his fancy house. Clark's coming back to return the keys and everything like that. Lex gets beat. He throws a little thing. He throws the fencing sword and everything like that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Whoa! And everything. Clark.
Yeah, Lex is just fighting some random chick, and
like,
then he like whips the sword at the door.
Yep. I've had to do that. It's like, Clark, what are you doing here? And he's like, sorry, Lex. I was returning the keys. You don't like it? No, it's just my dad won't let me keep it. Oh, I see. No, it's just nothing with you, Lex. No, don't take it personally, Clark. He thinks the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, does he? And so, no, it's not that. It's just it's okay. I'm used to being judged. I've been bald since I was 12. It's okay. It's okay. Do you believe a man can fly? What, Lex? You believe a man can fly? Like I have a plane? No, I mean, fly. When I died, I got to see I know the whole thing, and I got just whenever you're reciting that and you're seeing it, then you're like, okay, your turn. They will make every single fan do that, and it's such a surreal thing. Wow. And then they'll make the legendary quote, "I am the villain of this story." I've said that season 4, which entitles for the best Lex Luthor ever, in my opinion, forever, is powerful. But anyways, Talkville Live was phenomenal. I got to move chairs with Tom Welling because nobody had set down the events and stuff. So we went inside and we did that. And like, oh my God, look, how did this happen?
Helping out.
Yeah, it's just you're laying chairs out with Tom Welling, and in the background you have Sunspin playing, warming up, doing that and stuff before anybody comes in. And we're just talking life and everything like this. Next would have been the watch. Yeah. Then earlier was Mad Monster. I told about that. Okay. So Smallville Live. Okay. To salute Smallville. So this past October, I did a little thing. Where I said, you know what? I got one more in me. So I signed up and I booked my flight, and I was like, I'm going to go to New Jersey because they're doing the very first SmallvilleCon. The title of it was called Salute to Smallville from Creation Con, but we called it SmallvilleCon because of the first one. Because usually they're represented by Supernatural or any of those other shows, but this is
okay.
This was like their main theme. The building was
Put on
even
by the actual production company.
Yes,
Nice.
it was phenomenal. Not only that, but there was a steak restaurant there, and God, I gotta be careful talking about that. So good. So the first day I got there, we couldn't get our like lanyards yet or anything like that. But I just walked around the place because I just want to see it. And someone had actually built a Lego of the spaceship that Clark came in on from down the basement and everything like that from season 1. Someone built a life-size replica Lego of that ship.
Holy.
And I almost took a picture of it. I really wish I did now because someone auctioned that thing the next day for $13,000. And they got the whole cast to sign it and everything.
Lego.
It was, yeah. Oh my God. I was like, from a distance, you're like, is that metal? No, that's Legos. Oh my God. And so I walked around the hotel and just started exploring things and seeing where this stuff was. I was like, okay, so I'm gonna go here. This is where photo ops are gonna be. That's where the stage is gonna be. That's where the sign's gonna be. Okay, cool. And everything like that. Go get my lanyard. Next day, I see a bunch of my friends. And then a couple people stopped me, just like a Galaxy, which is weird to me. Like, yes. Are you Charlie Brown? Yes. Oh, hey, man. I'll video and talk. Oh, hey, how's it going, man? Everything like that. So I talked to a few people that, from, Talkville and stuff like that because I'd Smith. I had a few questions they recognized for that. And then from just the regular community board and everything that we've taught before. So,
yeah.
And then I had a very unique experience. After I got my lanyard, I go towards the main opening door, and then this guy walks in, and I'm looking, and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of familiar. It's weird. And then he says, all right, whatever. And he's getting his stuff, and he's pulls out this fancy briefcase, and I see Craig. I'm like, Craig, why is that familiar? And everything like that, and I see one of his old things he pulls out and everything like that, and has a certain symbol on it for Krypton size. And I freak out at this moment because I get clicked who that was. A long time ago, before there was any before there was MySpace, before that was a thing, guys. I know this is dating incredibly hell here for me, but but before MySpace, Facebook, that whole thing, before that was a thing, there was a place called Krypton Site, where before there was spoilers, before I had to worry about anything about that, there was a place called Krypton Site where you could go there. You could, if you chose to see stuff, and this guy could see a lot. He got chances to see like John Glover. He's hanging out with Annette O'Toole. He's a great guy.
Wow.
I can't say enough good things about him. And he was doing the panels for all that event for that entire weekend. And I was like, dude, can I have a picture of it? Sure, and everything like that, because he's one of the most nice people that was like, I was like, dude, I pulled up forms and downloaded stuff like your stuff back in the day whenever I was still in high school, for God's sakes, man. And
it's cool that he's still doing something similar.
It blew my mind and everything like that. So, and he was doing the panel. I talked to him for a good 45 minutes to an hour about things like life and cast members and what Smallville and Superman franchise meant to him and everything like that. We were talking about, hey, have you seen the Christopher Reeve documentary that just came out? I watched it and I was a mess. What about you and everything? He was like, dude, I was there. I don't think anybody came out of that theater without crying, happy tears or sad tears, motivational tears. It's not possible. You're not human if not. He was a great guy. So, and he was just like, well, I'll see you at the panels and stuff like that, right? So yes, sir. Just call me Craig, everything, because I grew up calling yes, sir, ma'am, or man. That's just reflex. Yeah. Day 2 was the big events. I wanted to get after I got my initial seats, since I had the gold pass and everything. I got there, I put my stuff there and everything. So it was reserved for me. No one was allowed to sit in there, which fun story. But anyways, I remember going out and I said, okay, this is where the photo ops are going to happen. And the very first one I got was yes. She hadn't got to her table yet. She was going to get like the photo op stuff done. Someone who I'd actually talked to a whole lot, and who I'd actually gone and I had quite a few chats with her as well. Laura Vandervoort. Yes. I remember.
I got a great picture with her too. She's one of the Smallville people I've met as well.
She was so nice, and she was. Oh God, I just remember her yelling, like you know how photo ops are. They're like, okay, ready, 3, 2, 1, next, 3, 2, 1, next, and everything like that. She stopped the line and everything like that, and I remember her. Not a lot of people can get by with doing that with me. She pulled me in really fastly and everything like that. I was like, "It's okay. I'll come by your table. I want to know the how to cook Canadian food and stuff like that." She was giving me like skinnies on like how to cook grilled cheese sandwiches, like with certain stuff. I was like, "What, with ketchup? Are you mad?" And everything like this. So like that, and then of course much later. I'm so sorry, guys. This would be much more greater on the other thing, but I have to work with what I got. But anyway, she signed it, and she signed a couple of things with me. But yeah, I went over to her table. After that, I talked to her for a lot because she did Taekwondo, and she's a second Dan. So we talked martial arts, and we talked about everything, and I congratulated her on
my ass for sure. I've seen videos of her training for her movies and stuff. Like,
oh yeah, she talked about
getting tossed around in some of the fight scenes. Even I'm like, dang.
Yep, been bitten. I know the exact ones that you're talking about. So we were talking about stuff like that. I got another one with her, and then she signed like a little extra thing with me, and like it was so cool to see her in real life. Just heard like yell my name, Charlie. I was like, whoa, what? This is different. That's on that's happened with Ashley Eckstein only. And I was like, what? Thing like that. And I was like, it's weird. But Ash is the size of a hobbit, and it's different universe. But yeah, Laura Vandervoort, me and her, God, it was so cool because we just talked about like a lot, and just. Of course, yes, she's easy on the eyes and she's close to my age. So I was like, of course. But I was like, you know what? Congratulations on, the engagement and stuff like that. And very treat. Got someone North Carolina. Anyways, I go back to the photo op.
I think she just got married.
Yeah, I'm happy for her. The guy better do good. But I remember the next one I had was Tom was next. And I remember I had just talked to him the week before that and everything like that. And I remember coming around the corner and he was like, dude, like that. And I was like, Tom, what's up, man? And everything like that. I was like, come here, and everything like that. And Tommy, I was like, and this is Clark Kent Superman. So like half the females and stuff like that, let's face it, they're all just like, everything like that. They don't want to get close to him, for God's sake. He's a handsome man. But me and we talked about a bunch of things. I was like, hey, Tom, you want to do something different? I'm gonna do a fighting stance. Let's do one. Okay, dude. Oh, cool, and everything like that. And ready, shoot job. And so he did that. Nice. He signed it for me again. So I'm sorry for the guys with bad quality. My thing is horrible, but I remember, God, he's such a. How many people know how nice and cool he was? But yeah, we did that. He made him take 2 pictures, but because one of them they didn't give us a heads up. We were just talking. We were turned like this, like, dude, what's up? So we're like mid like this, and they took the picture. And so we had this moment, and they didn't charge me or anything like that, thank God. But but he was like, no, again, guys, everything like that. And then they did it again. That's when I was like, ready, 3, 2, 1, shija. And nice. We did that, and I got that and went back and got that signed. Which I'll come back to that one because that leads into another gift. But after that, I remember I've seen one of my childhood crushes, Kristen Crook herself, Lana Lang. she rarely goes to events. She's starting to do more of them now, but she was so nice. And of course, this camera on my phone, guys. I'm so sorry about this. She signed the book,
but yeah, the autograph isn't showing up. I got you now.
Yeah, we talked. We talked 2 times because I went back to her table for something, but that's another. I'm building that. But the first time, she was so nice, and she's like, "Hey, hi, how you doing? What's your name?" Charlie. Because I'm like, oh my gosh, like I used to have. Hi, Nicodemus episode when you anyways. So no, it was cool. She was really kind, and I had a funny moment with her, and she's like, okay, well, come on my table. I said, oh, sure, okay. Anyways, that was that one, and then
you got a picture where you're doing the fighting pose. With her too,
right? We talked a little bit about, and she actually had Chung Fa training, Chinese Chung Fa. She did a little bit in the show, but she actually picked up of it. And
when she becomes like the international Lana Lang mystery, she's kicking ass too.
She's very good at dance, and that makes her very, very good at doing certain stuff. So she chose Chinese Chung Fa for Kung Fu, and she is very good. So like that's another reason I wanted to get like that with her. And but the next photo op I had was with Michael. They couldn't, of course, I run up to him and I was like, damn, who's that? I was like, damn, who's that? Is the thing on Talkville you'd see. It's a joke. But the guy couldn't get the thing reloaded fast enough. So me and Michael were just sitting there, and we were like, when's this guy going to take this? And we're just like looking at each other. And we had like a solid conversation while this goes, sorry guys, like trying to do this, and we're just like this. Now I remember like leaning over, and of course they took it whenever that was happening, so it looks like I'm whispering like a deadly secret to them, like, you think this guy knows? Like that. And that's when they took it. And I was like, okay. And everything like that. Like, all right, I'll talk to you this later, man. I was like, yeah, it's good to see you, man. And that was that one. My next one was, let's see, Saturday. So that would have been, the next one was Erica Durant's Lois Lane, who another funny photo op moment where I was a little caught off guard when they took the picture. I was looking the other way. That one. Yeah. Because I'm just like that. Because she, at the time, she's whispering something to me, just like, "Thank you for that Kane question." I was like, "Oh, you remember that?" And of course, the guy takes the picture right then. So I'm frozen there like a deer in the headlights. Evil deers, monsters. So I'm like, "You remember that?" My face
wide open in that one.
Yeah, I'm like, "You remember that?" And so I don't care. It was worth it. It was just worth it. And so I ran all the way back again for the next ones. And the next one it wasn't the group one, was the final day. Okay, here we go. John the Legend Glover. So I get to this lovely, lovely man. He said, okay, if anybody wants to do a photo op with me, you're going to have to dance. And everybody's like, what? And like, yeah, come on, guys. You got to show your spirit. Come on. And I did like a 1950s like type thing. He's like, oh, there you go. Like, you look very, it's like, I was like, Mr. Glover, it's Charlie? I was like, yes, sir. So I was like, hey, it's okay. And everything. I was like, no, just call me John. Call me John, sir. And everything like that. Don't call me sir, please. And he's like, my goodness, come here, young man. And, just hugged me and everything like that. So he's shocked right there. He's like, young man, I can't believe you came. He's like, this is twice I've seen you this year. I was like, yes, sir. I actually messaged you the other day on your Instagram. And there's this funny story about that I'll get to. But and I was like, I'll come by your table. He's like, oh my God, young man, I didn't know you. I was like, no, I can't dance. I cannot dance. I can do slow dance. You got lucky. And everything.
You got lucky.
I don't do too much of that. But I'll come back to his, because that is a really powerful moment. But the other photo ops were, oh man, his last day. This guy doesn't get enough recognition. Aaron Ashmore, who played Jimmy Olsen, who also,
good.
for those Marvel fans out there, like, man, that guy looks familiar. He kind of looks like Iceman. Well, fun you should say that, because that's his brother. And he told me some stuff about his brother passing up to get on. I am so sorry about the connection for that. He passed up a year ago to work with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman for something. He rejected it and didn't know what it was.
Oh no!
So, yeah. So it turns out Iceman was going to be in Deadpool and Wolverine in The Void. I'm not going to say spoilers because that movie's been out for forever. You can see it anywhere. But
that's
anyway,
why they got the Pyro guy instead. Then he was probably going to do Pyro's part.
So I got to talk to him for at least like a good 20 minutes, and we talked about everything from life and everything. He's like, "Man, you sure you want?" I was like, "Dude, yes," and everything like that. Like, please sign that for me. And he's like, "Man, I don't know why I always get stabbed in shows." I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, Sam stabbed me." I was like, "Yeah, well, yeah, but you kind of went out." He's like, "Yeah, but they didn't tell me I was going to come back for like last. I was like a little brother or something." And he was so funny, and like he was just, I was like, "Man, you got to kiss, Laura Vanderbilt." He's like, "Yeah, still." And I was like, "Come on, man," and everything like that. He was such a funny guy. After that was the
brother was on the show too.
Yes, he played in season 1. He was a high school
ice villain.
Yes, funny how it's funny how stuff echoes through across the universe. It's like poetry; it rhymes. How that crossed over, and yeah, that was just a phenomenal moment in history. It really was.
Or no, I know there's an episode where these 3 model girls are.
Yep, I know the
pageant girls are. One of them has freezing powers, and they freeze Sean.
Season 7. Yep, season 7. I know exactly what you're talking about because we referenced a lot of those episodes because he could remember. Because he's like, I can't believe people still get my autograph. I'm like, dude, you're cool. Come on.
Yeah, he's cool.
But yeah, pun intended. So my first dual op, the photograph. One of the people did not. This is me being nice, just because I could tell she's a fan of the show. I recognize her from like one of our community things. She couldn't get like one of her tickets and everything like that virtually, and I was like, "You can jump in, I don't mind." And I was like, "Sure?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll just get beside Erica." And anyway, so we did like a dual op, and she's like hugging the crap out of Tom, and Tom said something. God dang, sorry guys. Of just like it's like. She's like, I honestly just did that to get a feel of Tom Welling. And she started laughing. I was like, oh, well, okay. I'm glad you got enjoyment out of that. Everything. I remember looking back at Tom. He's like that. And I was like, he's like, it's okay. It's okay. As I'm used to it. He's like, I'm used to it. It's happened before. And everything like that. And I told him a funny Kay Sackhoff story. That's different. But yeah, that was cool. And then we had another one. I had the idea. So her and her friend came back because her friend was dressed as the Crisis on Infinite Earth's Clark Kent version, and I was like, yeah, you guys can. I don't care, and because I was like, I want to do one funny one. I always do like a regular, either serious or like a really heartfelt. Like, let's do like a really funny one. And this is like the 4th time in a row I've seen them. Are they? Yep. Charlie, what? And everything like no, don't charge him. Don't charge. Come here. What do you want? And everything like I was like, can you guys do Stretch Armstrong with me? And so that birthed this picture. A Kent and a Luther playing Stretch Armstrong with me, and it's the funniest damn thing ever because I swear to Tom Cruise, I'm sorry guys. Tom's like trying to look like he's really doing it, and Rosenbaum's just like, yeah, I'm cool with shades, man. And they're doing that. I'm just sitting there. It's like I got the power of the white shirt, guys. It's not going to work. It's just a funny moment. And the final photo op that we had was on Sunday, but this is the entire cast of all the Smallville, the entire cast, and of course, so funny because Tom's like the tallest person there, so he's like reaching over with his neck, looking like a giraffe, and everything like that. Aaron Ashmore, poor guy. John Glover, and of course I jump all the way over for reasons.
With the ladies,
for reasons like geometrical reasons that had to do with tectonical plates and stuff, but you know, that's a different thing. But
Kryptonian blood.
Yeah, you know, it was a thing. I was attracted to Kryptonian, exactly. So okay, the panel days, then this builds up to the thing of my legendary moment that I can never foresee ever. Thanks, man. So I go to John Glover's panel first. I really wish someone would have recorded this. I am on a few of the recordings because I did get lucky and gotten since my badge and stuff. Yep, I am in there. And I got to do Laura Vandervoort's, and she knew I was like, how's it going? And everything like that. And because I asked her about a fight thing. So I asked Eric Durant's thing, but I specifically went to John Glover. And he got really emotional during his, because someone asked him about, like his husband and what was his, what was that like? And he's always felt like, the way he said, like, oh man, like he said, like he just always never felt like he was loved. And then so in his performances and stuff, and he like broke down like on stage for a minute, and he's like, I really appreciate everybody coming over here and saying, hey, it's like kind of something I achieved that was cool and everything like that. And just different times and everything like that. And then I was up, so I was like, fuck, dang. Decided to go. I grabbed the mic and I was like, no, you don't get adjust it and everything like that, because usually the people are like, no, I got it, grabbed it. And I just go, Mr. Glover, and not without a beat. That's why I wish someone could find this. And he's wiping tears, and I'm wiping tears. I was like, Mr. Glover, my question is, and without skipping a beat, hang on, can someone put a light over there? I was like, everything like that. I get a spotlight on me. It's like, Charlie, young man, I talked to him on Instagram. And he's like, I talked to him the other day. He was at the photo ops the other day. Yes, sir, I was. So stop calling me sir. Call me John. You know what? Come up here. And everything. And I'm like, what? He's like, come up here. Like, okay, sure. So I jump up on stage with him and everything like this. And I hug him and he hugs me and everything like that. And I grab the microphone up there and I tell everybody to give him a standing ovation. They give him a standing ovation and everything like that. And I was like, but hey, I'm still going to ask questions. Okay, he said, young man, you can ask me whatever you want to and everything like that. And I'm like, oh, come on, man. And I was like, well, what's it like, going back and watching an episode that you masterfully did for me and many other people, Transference, where you had to play Clark Kent. He's like, young man, I'm so glad you asked about this one. Because, some people ask, what was it like working with Annette O'Toole? What was it like working with Michael Rosenbaum? Tom was so boring. The way he said it, because in the episode, they had to change box. And he's like, Tom could pick me up like it was a piece of cake. But Tom's just so boring. His eyes, he's so lovable. And I'm just not used to that. So I had to call Tom to set during the filming of that episode. And I'm in this jail cell as doing that. Yeah. And this thing transfers. He's like, Tom. And the first AD, he's like, go get Tom Welling, call him over to the set and everything. He's like, he saw his emergency. Like, what is it, John? What's wrong? Tom, how are you so boring? So he had to get that. So like everybody got a good laugh out of that and everything. And I did too, everything like that. And he's like, young man, thank you. I said, no, thank you. It's an honor. Please, everybody give this man a standing ovation. We all clapped and everything. And I jump off stage and everything, go to my seat, which is like 2 rows down, which that's fine with me. I'm cool. And then I went over to, because it was someone else. And I was like, oh, I got to go there. And I remember going over to his table to get my buddy Peek's thing signed. And I wanted to get, hang out with John for a minute, because immediately as soon as he's seen me, so he was signing a giant flag of the Riddler logo. Someone had got Kevin Conroy. They had got all the stuff on there, and he was really emotional again because he was talking about Kevin Conroy, who passed away a few years ago, from the best Batman voice from my point of view, and everything like that. And it was really cool hearing stuff like that from like the second person hearing these stories about how they would do these and how they would act these out and everything. Like they wouldn't, just read them in a audiobook, they would look at each other. Like Mark Hamill would look at Kevin Conroy, and they would look at each other and play off each other as the Dark Knight, the clown prince of crime. They would get into it, everything, and then it would just blow the performances out of the water. And he would talk about stuff like that. I'm like, oh my God, everything. So the Arkham games and all the stuff, like they would really get into it. And but I remember going over
Did
to him.
He voiced Riddler in the Arkham game?
Yep. Yes, he did.
Cool.
All those Riddler trophies. He's like, I can't tell you how many fans come over to me and just go, "You were the trophy guy, weren't you?" And he's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I just read the lines and everything like that. Yeah. So all those Riddler trophies and stuff like that, you have to go all around the map. He did all of those. That was him. He did them. He reprised his role just for that.
I gotta go 100% that game now. Just to hear
God, yeah, it's so funny. Yeah, and the craziest, funniest thing about that, whenever I got to him, everything, he was like, Charlie, and everything like that, and I was initially gonna put, he's like, no. You point like the person that take the. He's like, no, like he's like, come here. I was like, okay, and I go around like that. He gives me this ginormous hug. I give him a ginormous hug back. And he was like, I was talking. I was like, dude, your husband, like he's phenomenal at like some of his art stuff. He's like, well, I'll tell you what. While I sign this, here, hold my phone. I was like, what? And so he hands me his phone, and it's just such a surreal moment for me because I'm like, I'm holding John Glover's phone, Lionel Luthor's phone. I'm going back in time to my head when I'm watching this guy on television when I'm like knee high to a duck. And now I'm having a conversation with him. He's like, I'm like looking at all this art sculptures that he's done, husband done. And the funniest thing about is he's in the middle of like a signing and doing it. And he really quickly comes on my shoulders. He's like, yeah, try. I was like, yes, sir. I was like, whatever you do, don't scroll too much right. I don't know if you want to see that. I understand. And I kept going. I got to laugh afterwards.
Only.
I was like, I understand, sir. And I kept looking at the art stuff, and but I got to hold his phone and everything, and I was like, no, look, you see this? Like, I got to show him on Instagram. He's like, I don't know how to do like that. I was like, no. So what you do? You go in here like this, and you see right there. That was me. Whenever he's like, you sent me that gift. That was hilarious, young man. And he's like, thank you for sending that to me. I had no idea where that came from. Now I know how to do this. He's like, well, tell you what, let's just take a picture and everything like that for just my phone. Is that okay? I was like, are you kidding me? Sure. As long as it doesn't pee off the people in the line. And he's like, come on, and everything like that. So we do this little funny thing. And before that, while his person's like unlocking a thing on his phone, not mine, keep that in mind for this story. I was like, hey, sorry, John, I'm going to call you Mr. Legend. I was like, John, I want you to let you know, sir, I'm just call you this. I'm sorry. You are a hero. You're a legend. You're an amazing human being. You're a phenomenal human being. You are deeply loved, and you have no idea how many lives you probably saved just by doing 1 or 2 roles. And you're a phenomenal person. Don't ever let anybody tell you you're one of those. He got emotional. I got emotional. We hugged one more time. We turn around. I'm in between doing this, and he's between doing like this, holding my hand. And I remember, doing this, and next thing I know, the day after, I get like 1,000 little things. I get rest because the final day is the upcoming last story. I remember going and getting a few like DMs like that. I'm like, what the hell? And I'm like trying to get ready for like the morning. And I look, and John Glover had posted a picture of me and him on his page. And it was one I didn't know about. And he put like such a nice little thing about it. And like how I had like a few people.
Cool. He figured out how to do that.
Yeah, he did not. He just didn't know. And then his husband started following me. And then I told him, I was like, look, thank you for everything and everything like this. And I can't say enough good things about him. I really can't. Guys, if you ever get a chance to meet him, guys, gals, whatever, if you ever get a chance, go meet him. He's getting up there. He just turned 80, and he looks amazing and phenomenal.
Wow.
Yeah, he's such a great human being. So without me choking up too much about that, I love that man. I'd take a bullet for him. let me see here. Hang on, sorry. Oh, Peek. Hang on a second.
Yeah, when I met John Glover, one thing I asked him about was how he liked the turn from bad guy to good guy, and like he was a good guy all along kind of thing. Spoilers.
Yes, he said that was very hard to pull off at first because he was used to doing that. I'm sorry, guys. For a while, but he said he really enjoyed playing the colors of that and playing evil to oppose the contrast of playing. Then he plays good, but by the time he played good, Lex was turning really evil.
Mm-hmm.
And how they played that, he actually requested that his exit would be the big turning point of Lex, and how that would play out. And no one will even remember your name, and then kicks him out the window. And he came back for the final things, but
that's when it changed from Luthor Corp to Lex Corp.
Yup, they started. So the final days, I go around this corner. Heather and Greg, if you've ever seen this, God bless you. And also, God, girl in a wheelchair, Catherine. I don't know your name, but you gave me something extremely nice. I will never forget it. But had these amazing people, Heather and Greg, recognized me and gave me this on a limited time. But it's the original. Guys, I'm so sorry. The original signed logo from Smallville, Meteor Capital of the World, only be it sold at that show. They put it down and they're like, "Here you go." And I was like, "What?" And they're like, "No, you take it." And everything like that. And I was like, "You sure?" It's like, "Yeah, we've seen you." I was like, "Heather and Greg, wait a minute, you guys were at Mad Monster. You were in North Carolina." And everything like that. And we talked like for a minute, and they gave me this, and I was like, "Oh my God, thank you guys." And I put that on there, and it was fit like a glove, even though it was a pin. But celebrating the meteor, the meteor capital of the world, and has the season 1 thing that is now myth and legend.
I always thought that was funny. They had that on their sign when it killed so many people.
Yeah, those 2 showers really kicked ass. Kicked poor Lana. Rest in peace.
Yeah, Lana probably doesn't appreciate that sign.
No. So I go and I get the final days, and I'm like, I gotta go see Tom and everything like that, and really fast. And then I was like, no, you know what? I need to get Ryan Tayez something. Ryan Tayez, for those who don't know, is a brilliant scientist. On top of the show, you'll get that reference if you get that.
Okay.
I went to him and I got his signature on something, and I went over to Michael and we did like a little funny thing. I don't have the pictures on me to digital. I apologize. But yeah, we did a funny little thing and everything like that. It's like, but hey, you'll be on in a few weeks. Yeah, yes, exactly. And then I go over to John to say bye to him. I hug him bye. And then I see, yeah, that was it for the night for that. That's right. Because the next night of the final thing was Smallville Nights. Here's the cap. Here's
Smallville
the cap.
Night. How many Smallville things are there?
So it turns out all of my moments led to this. Smallville Nights. They had everybody.
Or was that the one in LA? Sorry.
No. This wasn't in LA. This is the one in the same one for this one, New Jersey. It was.
I got mixed up. Sorry.
No. It's okay. No worries. This was. I cannot tell you how the stars aligned on such a moment to give me this gem of amazing stuff, and so many memories I will take forever with me. Someone had called, whenever they called, like, okay, how many people want to try and read for this? And I was like, I've done this. Well, whatever. I don't care. I have no fear. And everything, like, yeah, everything like that. Tom pointed at me. Michael pointed at someone else. So we're in that awkward stage of 2 people getting up while everybody's sitting down. And I was like, God and like that. And Tom's, I'll get you, I got you, everything like that. So, and I'm just like, okay, and everything like that. And Tom's like, no, he can play the security guard, the Luther Court security guard, and everything like that. Like, yeah, I can do that, and everything like this. And I go past the podium. I hit my foot so hard on this damn podium. The microphone's right here. I hit this. It took every fiber in my being not to yell out at something that I would probably say on norm. Like that. Tom sees it. He's like, he turns his head from the crowd to me. He's like, and everything like, and everything like that. My face is turning red. I sit down, and everything like that. He said, I'll come back to you, I promise. It's like, and everything like that. So while I'm doing this, I'm seeing these, they always give, you should appreciate this, man. They always give the Canadians, like, man, they say school and stuff like this. So they always mess with Kristen. They read lines for whenever Clark first meets Lana in the graveyard. And they're like, she would always say school or something like that. And they're like, you know what? All right, we need a Lex. Charlie, you've done Lex before. I was like, sure. I get up, throw it on me, and everything like that. I won't kill you, everything. Put that on. I get like a little jacket on. I know the scene. I went left and right. Know my stuff. Cap? Yep. And there was a catch to it. There was a catch to it. I had to say to this poor person who I've never met at this event, Michael's a funny person in real life. And he loves to mix stuff up. He's like, all right, when you deliver this line, Charlie, I want you to say, because I did it with your mother. What? Like, yeah, I should do it. Okay, all right, whatever. And so I commit to this. And as I'm telling this Clark Kent person, all this stuff and everything like that, it's like, we have a destiny, Clark. Our friendship is going to be stuff of legend because I slept with your mother. And I had this microphone with me, so it reverberated and echoed. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I said it with my eyes. I'm looking at this person. I said it's so serious. And I'm just like, I'm so sorry. Like this. But I was like, I'm going to say it was such venom. And just like, I'm like, God damn it. And, but after that, everybody's laughing. I'm going to sit back down over the thing because Tom's like, no, just hang on with a minute. And, because they were giving out prizes and everything like this. But they were thunderstruck because of this, because we hear a person off think of, I don't say school like that. And you're like, oh, here comes Kristen Crook. She stayed up. She stayed all the way in. She runs in and she runs up on stage. Now the real, like Lana Lang and the real are like in person. Hang on, guys. I'm so sorry. Hang on. Sorry.
We still got you.
Anyways, spell check. This is not the time for this. So Kristen Crook gets there on the stage, and I sit down, and I'm like, you know what? You guys should do something. Like, without skipping a beat, it was like watching a time machine. I can't put it any other way. Tom and Kristen Crook relived the line 20-some plus years later of the initial read that they originally had in the pilot, and they snapped back into it like that, like it was nothing. And cool. I can't tell you what that was like watching that close, because like they went from funny, joking, serious to like really doing it, really doing it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm watching this. As I'm watching this now, I'm on a stage as apparently like the Luther Corp, security and everything. And I'm like, okay, cool, and everything. My foot's done throbbing at this time. So I give a little bit stand up, and I do like somewhat of the security guard thing. And while they're doing that, we all give like a standing ovation, because after they do that, they haven't done this in like 20 plus years. They nail it. She has to go. They start talking. They're getting ready to hand out prizes. I feel this on my shoulder, man. So without doing this again, because you can't do that to me, but I feel that. It's like, hey, see, oh, hey, whoa, what? I look, and it's Erica Durance. She snuck up on stage. She's like, I want to get in on this. And I was like, do you want me to? Okay. And so the Erica Durance wanted to be on the stage and do the same thing Lana Lang did. She was wanted to revisit for Lois and see if Tom remembers. She wanted to bust his gonads because she's a Canadian as well in real life. And she was like, okay. Everything. I was like, do you want me to introduce you? And I thought, yeah, oh, okay. So meanwhile, Tom Welling and they're getting ready to give out prizes. I'm still on stage, with them. They have no idea what's behind them. So every 5, I'm like, okay, ready, Charlie, 3, 2, 1. I stand up, very serious and everything. And I grab that little tiny microphone back up, like that. Excuse me, Mr. Luther. Like that. Like that. I was like, there's a young lady here to see the young man, Mr. Kent. Is that okay? And Michael's just like, sure. You security guards never do your job for letting anybody in my place, but sure, that sounds great. Okay, who is it? Okay, Miss Lang. Everybody erupted. The entire, they're like, whoa, what the? So they're like, they got Kristen Crook from the back, and from behind me, Lois Lane, the original Erica Durance, snuck up on stage. So they reread the original scene from the final episode of Smallville. And so Tom has to go right back into this again. Same thing he just did with Lana Lang, except for this. And they're like, this has never happened before. So they do that. I jump off stage for that because I'm like, guys, there's no point in me being up here. I jump off. I get back in my seat. They read for it. They read the same line from the final. And man, it was such a thing to witness. And then because of that shocking moment, they forgot about the prizes. So there's a reason I'm building this. They gave out a few of them, but they ran out of time. So and then we're approaching the thing. I go over to the tables after this, and everything like that. I feel, hey, you were great. I'm like, what the fuck? Who said that? There's like a little hobbit like next and everything. It's Kristen Crook, like right beside me, and everything. Whoa, where'd you come from? And everything like that. And she's like, oh, that's great. So when you see that picture of us doing this, that at her table, that was her. She walked me to her table because I was like, hey, can I get like a little like signature? Yeah, come walk. I was like, what? You sure? And everything. I walked her to the booth of her table and talked to her for a good solid like 20 minutes maybe. Everything, and she's so nice, but wow, she's so small. And I'm like, man, you had to read with Tom. How did you do that? And everything. He's so tall. But I got another signature by her. Got my buddy Peek's thing signed, and I was like, hey, you do martial, you Chung Fa as well. I studied and everything like this. Can we get sure? Of course, and everything. I do one with her and everything like that. That's the picture on my, my Instagram.
Yeah.
And oh god, man. So she was cool. So right beside of her was Tom and Michael. They look over at me like, dude, and like that. And I was like, what? Was that okay? He's like, yes, and everything like that. And Tom does, hey Charlie, come here, like that. I was like, you sure? You got a pretty big line, man. He's like, yeah. But I might have dinner with you guys in a little bit. I'm sorry, what? Yeah, that steak prep, that steak. My wife and kids they're not too far, but if I have time, I may drop by and we may grab like a steak dinner. Is that okay? Yes, please. I'll grab us a booth. Sure. But he's like, but seriously, come here, man. Well, during your thing last night, we forgot about something. I was like, what? Oh, because of I'm sorry. Yeah, loop for corp security. My bad. I apologize. No. He's like, no. Don't you dare apologize. Kristen Crook surprised us all, and we didn't expect that. And Erica Durant surprised us all, so we didn't know what to do. We've completely forgot about these, so we gave out most of them. But look, he's like, man, he came over and did like a little thing. He's like, I want you to have something, man, something memorable by, because like I'm going to talk to you pretty sooner rather than later, because we're going to do a thing that's going to come out Wednesday, but it's a different timeline. But and I talked to him about, my dad and everything like that I dealt with all the entire year. He's like, I want you to have something memorable about, man. I was like, what is it, Tom? You have to give me a thing. He goes around and I start to see something, and I'm like, no, you're not giving me that. I know what that is. He's like, I want you to have it. No, come here. And I was like, dude, Tom, no. He's like, come here. I'm like, okay. I get emotional. There's a picture of it, but what he proceeds to give me, and notice it in a wedding engagement ring, fellas and ladies, I don't know what you are out there. He signs it, and he gives me, I have the original red kryptonite ring from season 2. That's Tom Welling's from Warner Brothers, the exact one.
The coolest freaking memento
that
possible, dude.
The reason that they were going to give something out like this is because it was the very first Smallville like inspired event that was not connected to another like event, so they wanted like unique. So the top person at Smallville Nights was going to get this, but they didn't give it out. They forgot about it, and I've been friends with them long enough. And Tom comes over to me and hands me this and says, I want you to put it on. We're going to get a good picture, and you can keep it locked away, whatever you want to do with it. And I was like, well, Tom, I got my first leather jacket because of you whenever I was a preteen, so I don't know if this is a good idea. And so I was like, well, which finger? Because Tom, your finger is you're kind of a giant. He started laughing. He's like, just whichever. So I proceed to put I don't know how I feel now. But yeah.
Oh God, everyone watch out.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm feeling
Red
really
Kryptonite Charlie's.
I mean, look, that's the size of his finger. His
Holy
finger.
crap.
He was in his early, him in season 2. He was, so just doing that's a challenge in itself, but it can still connect. But I have the original ring, and I'm trying to get closer for it'd be more better. Like it's got the Smallville Crows logo. It's got the Kent. Okay, you know what?
So it's got his high school football team number, and then it's got the Crows on the other side. Is there anything on the inside?
No.
It's a prop, so I don't expect there to be anything that detailed anyway.
Yeah. There's I'm so sorry if this was regular. Yeah, the Smallville Crow had Kent on here, but yeah, this is the original Red K from Red. Season 2.
I don't know if you click on the screen if it would focus it better or not, but that's pretty sweet. That it looks like a freaking I have like a hockey ring from when I was in high school, and it looks like the one I got, just like twice as big as mine. It looks twice as big as
he's
mine.
A giant. That's why I was like, dude,
maybe 3
Tom,
times as big.
I was like, Tom, I can't wear this. Your finger's too big. The best I can do is like this. So we have a picture of me doing this, and that's the best. That's the best that I could do. And he's like, I'm doing that, and he's got his arm around me and everything like that, and it was such a surreal moment for me because, like, I don't know, I was getting this back home too as well. I had this was like my precious, the Lord of the Rings, one ring to rule them all. This was mine.
Pocket.
This was mine. There was no way TSA was getting this off of me. I smuggled this on the plane with me, where I was like, nope, you are not taking this from me. I refuse. As soon as I got home, the first thing I did before I even put my luggage up, I put this in seal this away in a cabinet. I only bought this on to tell that entire story, because that would never happen if the Smallville Nights thing happened. And I had such a legendary time. But yeah, that's my Smallville cast story, and that's a long time, but there you go. And
that was pretty sweet.
The last little thing I'd say is, if you go to my page, or hell, you just go to any page. If you're Smallville DC, you know what? He actually does a lot more sculptures and paintings and stuff. A guy called Mike Posters. drew this of the 100th episode. And of course, I'm not going to look at it because that, but the 100th episode of Smallville, and it's got
John Snyder.
It's got the original. God, it doesn't do it. Okay, just type in Mike Poster's Instagram. You'll go to his page. He does stuff for major television stuff. I have a few of his, but he does.
I'll make sure to link it below.
Yeah, dude, please do. Because on this is Christopher Reeve, and I was like, oh my God. So my entire thing from whenever I go on this cruise next year, and also when I hang out with them in next September, is I'm going to get every cast member that I can to sign it, except for the persons whose name I will not be excluded because they are barred from everything for good reasons. But anyways, not to sour that, but like that dude is so nice. Like he was like, here you go. I was like, what? And he was like, dude, you were entertaining the other day. I was like, why? And so I had accidentally made friends with a guy who did posters he does for Reacher, that show, Smallville, DC. He just got done doing the official poster for the final episode series cap of Superman or Superman Lois. That just came out. Okay, I didn't want to spoil that. Thank you. Okay, good. He does that. He's a pretty cool guy. Like I said, go to like his thing just at Mike Post. He's phenomenal artist, phenomenal guy. He did not have to give me that, but I have that, and one of my goals is to go and get like every cast member to sign that, and just they're all phenomenal human beings, and I have nothing but good things to say about them, and I cannot wait to hang out with them again. And
cool.
Yeah, I know it's a ridiculously long story and everything like that, but
no, that was the whole point of the episode, so you're good.
That was it's before there was any shows like Arrow or Flash or anything like that, there was a little show called Smallville that pioneered a bunch of shows between technology and what they would have for detective stuff over their cast, of how many work hours that they would have, and they did it. That was them.
They pioneered a lot of crap on TV. Even there was there was a few superhero shows that came before, from like the Batman, Adam West, up to like Lou Ferrigno and in the Incredible Hulk series, and then up until there was the Supergirl TV show and the Wonder Woman TV show.
Helen Slater.
But, Smallville really kind of perfected the formula on a budget. I feel like, whereas a lot of those shows, even the one where Dean Cain is Superman.
Yes,
is that called My Adventures, or
the Adventures
with Lois and
Clark? Yeah,
is that it? That one, I always forget what that one's called, but that's what it is.
No worries at all. It kind of slips on mine too, because I'm like, he's a great guy, and I love when they get to his episode, because he has such a funny cameo in that as Vandal Savage. Before that was,
dude.
He's a great guy.
I got a little story about him. He
so cool.
When I asked him about his role in the Smallville, he was like amped to talk about it. Like, he was so cool in person. I know. He had like a new comic book series where like his like likeness is the main character, and he helped write it.
Oh,
it's
man.
like a detective comic book series, so I bought those and read them. I didn't bring them up, but I thought that was kind of cool. It's like his likeness, and I was like, it just looks like Superman a little bit, and like because it's a comic book, he just looks more like Superman when they draw him like that. And dude, he's like, I wouldn't say he's super tall. I don't know how tall he is actually, but he's a big guy, like Tom Welling. Like, they're both big dudes. I think maybe the camera like takes some pounds off of them, or like the way they film, like they're bigger in person than they even are on screen, which is surprising.
Oh God, yeah.
And he said that when he played the story I had that he said was when he played Vandal Savage, the immortal caveman. He thought he was gonna come back and do more episodes, and he wanted to be like a recurring season villain.
I remember that.
And then it just wasn't in the cards. But like it was cool to learn that he wasn't like one and done. Kind of didn't want to keep doing it. He was actually like thought he was gonna keep coming back, and I was like, that would have been really cool because he was one of my favorite cameos. It's like, oh, there's Superman. There's like 3 or 4 Supermen in that show.
Oh god, yeah. The lineup that they had, I'll never forget. Whenever they did that, was they're like a little medical table and like at the very edge, of like facing off both of each other. And he's like, "You don't know what it's like to be walk this earth and not age and have nobody like that." And meanwhile, it goes back to Tom Will and Clark and everything like that. And he's holding, it's like, I kind of have a feeling, and everything. There's wrestling for like this type, the body that's on there and everything like that to save this person. And it's just this little Easter egg, so easily missed if you don't get the Superman references. Otherwise, like, why are they talking so much like this? Why is he not just, bam, knocking, he's dead, problem solved, and everything like that. And they've had this little, it's like living all this time, not age, never having anything like that. I kind of have an idea like that and everything like that. I was like, oh my God, they know each other and everything like that. Like, oh my God, they did that. And I love, he
played a pretty twisted villain too, like operating on
he did
vulnerable women and stuff.
That he did.
Yeah,
you could not get away with that now.
No, probably not. It made sense that Clark had to take him down in the one episode, but yeah, I think it would have been better if he was like a season-long villain. I feel like, or something like that, would have been awesome.
Yeah, it was man, that's another thing. We're going through like the podcast review and rewatch with them, which is so surreal again as it is. But they'll be like, man, how do we do that with standards and practices? We could not get away with that now. They would not give us the green light for that. Oh my God. Because they were just talking about random stuff like it was.
They made the actors do a lot of crazy stuff too, especially the main 2 guys, the Tom and Michael, right? Like,
yep, they were talking about when Nicodemus episode came up, and they're no, I know it was when Jensen Ackles came on before he was on Supernatural, and he had to be Lana Lang's coach boyfriend, and she was still lower in age, and there's no way that they could even remotely get fouled doing that now. And they're like, oh my God, how did we not get put away for this? And he's like, oh man, okay, all right, we're good, everything like that. And it was funny. Like, you can go back. Michael's a funny guy, such a funny guy, because he was like, guys, give me a heads up if you want me to do something like that, because I have to shave my head. I have to shave every part. Like, guys, I'm not sexy like Tom is, and everything like that. So like, well, you know what, Michael, I'm glad you asked that, because in the next season you're gonna bump boots with Lana. We're gonna switch the thing. I'm sorry, what? And he goes like this whole thing, like, whoa, wait a minute, guys, wait a minute, no. It won't work. It won't work and stuff. And their back and forth is just so funny. Everything like that.
Yeah, his character's 5 years older than them, so
yeah. And he's like, guys, I can't. He's like, oh God, but she's no, I can't think about that. No, and everything like that. And Tom had to do. And one of the most recent ones, again, I'm plugging the hell out of it, but like Talkville podcast. When Tom directed his first episode, he was directing them, and he was just like, all right, Michael, when you kiss her, that was bad. Not saying you're horrible, but that was bad. Don't do that ever again. I'm insulted by that, actually. You're going to kiss her like a man. All right, do it again. And everything like that. And he's like, and everything like that. And he's like, okay. And you do it. They pass it. They get by, scene, and everything like that. And he's like, and she was like, okay. He's like, Kristen, you're going to turn away for a little bit. And it's just like
I know that scene so well, I could probably reenact it.
It's so funny, because he's like, you have to give me a minute and everything like that. And Tom's like, you're welcome, buddy, and everything like that. And he's like, shut up. And that leads into the whole another thing. But man, yeah, God, they're such amazing human beings who are not affected by fame or anything like that. They're not stuck up celebrities. It's like, oh, an autograph. Get out of here. Something like you.
Yeah.
All right, done. Whatever. No pictures. They're completely
I feel
amazing.
like there's quite a few celebrities like that, but
Unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately.
yeah, meet as many Canadian ones as possible. They're all pretty nice.
Oh my God, Laura Vandervoort, Erica Durant's like, God, Kristen Crook, they were so nice, so kind. They were not. They asked
Laura
about
Vandervoort really threw me off. She's like she could be like a top model, and literally she acted so normal, like you wouldn't even know that she was famous if you were talking to her on the street or whatever.
We talked about Canadian like food. She was like, "Hey, did you ever fix like the grilled cheese with like ketchup?" I was like, "No, I didn't. I didn't remember the recipe. They cut the interview off before then, and everything." And it was so funny because we were. She is so amazing. I love her to death. Kingdom Come outfit, freaking love it. And she's in on it and everything like that. So she'll just like,
she pulled me in too for the picture. I
love it. I love
we had our arms around each other, and then right before the guy took the picture, she was just like pulled me in and was like pointing at the symbol. I didn't even know she did that really. I was kind of like blacking out probably just standing that close to her. Yeah, that was my that's what my hair looked like before I donated it last month.
Man, that's so good.
I gotta mention this while we're on the topic of Talkville. Next time you do, or whenever you get the chance to talk to them again, we gotta get Phil Morris, who played the Martian Manhunter. I don't know if he's been on like a lot of SmallvilleCon or Talkville stuff, but he goes to cons, and he was super excited to talk about the Martian Manhunter in Smallville with me. So you should tell them to like reach out to him if they haven't, because I feel like he'd be interested.
I have a feeling that we'll be getting to him very soon. We just started on season 6, and he's at the tail end of that for the Phantom Zone. Bizarro Clark, which, oh God, that's another topic for another. Oh God, I can't wait for that talk. That's phenomenal.
I got the coolest picture of him in Clarkstein.
The Loft.
Be the hope.
Yep.
That's my favorite quote from the show, I think.
He has
I also got the John Schneider one where it's always hold on to Smallville, the one you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, he's got such a good voice, like such a perfect voice for that character. It's I remember it was such a tie for like Phil Morris and like from the animated show and him that I'd always have in my head if like a Martian Manhunter like novel came along where I'm like, oh my God, okay, I'll read that as him.
Yeah, I like the show how he had like an accent, but I think Phil Morris is like my favorite. Like for an emotional level, I feel like he's my favorite Martian Manhunter. And he was like surprised. He's like, no one's told me that I'm their favorite Martian Manhunter today, that they're this weekend. That's pretty cool. He's saying that to the guy that's working at the booth with him.
Yeah.
And then I was getting pretty excited. I'm wearing my costume talking to him there, and I said what the scene where you flew Clark back into space and you like lost your powers or like your a lot of your powers and could only shape shift, because he stayed looking like Phil Morris.
Oh yeah.
So like he lost his powers, but he could still shape shift, but he lost like 90% of his power.
Yeah, he was
saving Clark.
Just Detective after that, Detective Jones after that, over in the Tropic PD.
He flew Clark to the fucking sun. And I'm like, dude, that's epic. That's like something that would never happen on the show otherwise. You know what I mean?
No, sure. They did it so good too.
Maybe Kara could fly him to the sun, but no one else.
No, she either had amnesia at the time or was in the Phantom Zone. It was secretly Brainiac at the time, so that was not going to happen. It was not in the cards. So to have that moment, just like him, I remember Green. Yeah, it was Green Arrow got mind swiped or something like that, and then he shot Clark, and he was mortal for some reason. No, I know what it was. It was after season 7, so he was still mortal in season 8. That's right, so he wasn't that. And so yeah, Green Arrow shoots Clark. He gets mortally wounded. John Jones comes out of nowhere, pulls an MVP card, picks up Clark. They fly out and make it look epic because they make his eyes start to slowly go back to Martian red before it fades like the sun and everything. Again, such brilliant casting, such a cool character to have. And whenever he gets his
what
powers
they do
back,
with the budget, I can respect too. Like, obviously, you can't have them be turning into dragons and being like alien all the time. But I feel like they did so good to just make him that subtle mentor figure to Clark that he kind of needed that in those later seasons.
Where like he was getting ready to kill Lionel at one point, but you know, and then it's revealed to him. But like the way he catches Clark's thing, and like his eyes glow red for a second. He's like, "No, this man's an emissary of Jarrell." What? And everything like that. And little moments when he gets his powers back, even in like the one season, I think it was Justice. I think that was actually Tom's episode that he directed. But whenever he does, when he gets it back from Dr. Fate, when he like knocks him back, there's like a astral projection of like you see his Martian form for a second, and they outline with red eyes, and then he goes back to it, and he's just like, "Oh man," everything like that, and he saves the day. But they do it in such a subtle way where you see they had enough of the budget for that, but other than that, they would not pull it off. But like Smallville did such good jobs on such like small bros like Green Arrow before it was Stephen Amell, it was Justin Martin. Like it was him. He's good. That was Green Arrow for me. And then they got Black Canary, the original that one, which will be someone who I'll be in September, October. That's just crazy because she's been so many shows.
I really liked Oliver Queen. Like he was one of my favorite. Him and like Erica Durance, I felt like were my favorite characters that kind of showed up later in the show.
Yeah, man. Dude, it
became full-time cast members.
It blows my show. It blows my mind that Darkseid was on that show. Michael Ironside, and he was Lois Lane's dad. And I'll never forget whenever I found out that he was the voice of Darkseid. And I was like, no. And I was like, they have to bring him back for like the final season. He has to be like the vessel for Darkseid. And I was like, God, opportunity missed. But they made up for it in such an epic way. But yeah, I always hear his voice as Darkseid and everything like that. I'm like, oh my God. He's in 1,000 other roles, but just like seeing him make a cameo on there as Sam Lane. He's like chewing the cigar and everything like that. And I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, I felt like him and Perry White were kind of like those
I love that
those cameos that we wish we could have seen more of too. Yeah.
Great Caesar's ghost. Yeah, and he said it too. Like I'm surprised they actually got him to say that. I was like, oh, he said the thing.
They were probably filming like Better Call Saul already or something.
Oh my God, you're right. Oh my God, that's right. That was.
So I wondered if that's why Annette O'Toole can be there in the very end. I don't know what else she was in.
Oh man, I did not think about that.
Yeah. One thing if I could change one thing about the show, it would be Annette O'Toole to return for Lionel Luthor's funeral. I think that would have been really good.
Yeah.
Because they after they didn't really have a romantic thing, but after John Schneider's character died, they had a really good relationship, and he helped her become a senator.
Yeah,
it made her leaving the show make sense. And then,
that episode, yet again, another piece that I got whenever they were just like, "Hey, you guys are you're good." My camera's screwed up as it is. You can see that moment. The artist that drew this, phenomenal person. It's that moment right there where they're just like, "No, we're enemies now." And Tom and Michael, there was a limited print of 5 of these, and they signed it. It was based on that episode Descent, and where Lex just goes full white suit bananas, and he's gone. He is gone. That's another dark scene that I cannot wait for them to get to how they were able to pull that off. And different times, I know, but Lex killed a kid in that in a very unique way, and not like an Anakin move, but like a very brutal way, like a very visceral way. And you made me weak. I'm like, oh God.
That's where he kills his clone.
That's where he kills off his good
alert.
Stuff. Yes. I keep wanting to say it, but I'm like, geez, this has been out for like years. My God. And but yeah, like the way he does it, it's right after he kicks Lionel out of the window. Everything starts going slow-mo because he's having this identity crisis where he's just like, all right, and everything like that. And then like this kid version that they introduced, Alexander, who's like, he says, you know, Lex, Clark Kent goes inside of his mind at one point. He's being chased by this kid. He thinks it's a threat, but he finds out it's what's left of the Lex that's good, that's remotely somewhat still there. It's a beat up kid.
Is it the same kid actor from the pilot episode?
Yep, they got him back. Nice. And
I couldn't remember. I have a bad visual memory.
No, dude, trust me. Same here sometimes. I have my moments. I'm like, I can't remember her name. That's why whenever I was like, Gene Hackman? No, Gene Wilder. No, you're right. Yeah, so safe from the crowd there. I just have some of those moments too. But yeah, like the way they did that, and like he's been trying to kill me for like the longest time. You're like, oh my God. So if that kid dies, then it's game over then. And then the way that he's like, you still have me. He's like, nope. Grabs the kid, fireplace, extremely dark. You make me weak, like that. The kid, you kind of figure. And just the way like he does this look, you're just like, oh my God, okay, well he's complete comic book. White suit with the black glove, Lex Luthor, President Lex now. He is fully evil. There's nothing redeeming about him whatsoever. The kryptonite hand poisoning, that's him now. There's no good more in him. And geez, like the way he look, I know we got Gene Hackman. Look, I love Gene Hackman. I do. I really do. I do. Hell, I grew up on him. He was the first Lex Luthor ever seen. Besides even before animated stuff was a thing. Like early animation, like 70s animations and stuff that I'd seen on movie, like PHSs. But Michael, the way they did it on Smallville that made such Lex Luthor so comic accurate, even though they may not have meant to do it, you're like, every Lex Luthor aside from him was out after one thing. Every single Lex Luthor that's ever existed is after one thing: land. Why? It's like you can do so much more than that guy, and everything like that. Like read the books, or just even look at a few. Like he's like smart. He's after very much more subtle things, the anti-life equations, just different stuff.
I think he's smarter than Batman. Fight me, everyone.
Yeah, I mean, they've had many confrontations, and I mean, but like the way he
figured out the anti-life equation and defeated Darkseid.
Yes,
making both him and Darkseid become one with the source wall, which is the edge of the universe.
Yeah,
where Jack Kirby is, and that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, he is that smart. So like whenever you see
the Amazo arc in the cartoon too, not even just the comics. There's a few Amazo arcs in the animated movies and in the Justice League cartoon where Amazo like becomes like the god he becomes like a god basically, but Lex Luthor created him, and then Lex Luthor has to like become a father figure to like a god basically.
Yeah. Oh man,
like, that's Amazo got to the point where he could like snap his fingers and like destroy the earth if he wanted to. Like he was.
I do remember that.
He was that powerful.
God, good old Clancy Brown. Man, he's blessed with us with so many voices over the years, from Lex Luthor to Savage Press. All these people, he's done all these.
Mr. Krabs.
Exactly. It's his IDBM has to be so goddamn ridiculously over the top, like from physical acting to voice acting to every other type of acting there is. Like that's another one on my bucket list where I'm just like, dude. And he made a thing on Smallville. Then he was on Flash, for God's sakes. He was Grodd's like little. Such a good person. Yeah, my thing was like, land, really? That's another thing that they're going to, all right, whatever. But it took Michael Rosenbaum Smallville's one like to go, no, make it different. Make the motivation different and make it more grounded. But at the same time, like, this person's, the first time they showed the hints of his darkness, they blood's raining. There's like a white suit. You just see the scent. It's just like, God.
Yeah, dude. I just watched that episode.
Hourglass,
That's
man.
the episode with Cassandra Carver. She can see the future.
Yep.
I kind of want to look up the wiki. Whoever I was watching it with a friend, and we were wondering, like, I wonder if that actress is actually blind, because I don't think
she wasn't.
Okay, I was like, I didn't know if like eye contacts were that good back then, because they had her. She was fully like.
She passed away a few years ago.
Yeah, I assumed she was probably pretty old when it was filmed.
Michael said that she was amazing. She was really, really kind. I mean, go watch the top of the episode. They could probably say it way better than me, but I know he said that she was just like, okay, sweetheart, just look that way whenever I do this and everything like that. And then she's like, bam. Okay, yeah. Like look.
All her scenes were killer, dude.
Yes, dude. Like, in the way she could surprise when she touched like Clark's things, like, and just the way she would be like shocked and everything like that. Like, you weren't supposed to see that. How'd you see that? You're different.
Yeah, no one else has seen it. Yeah. I like when she sees Lex at like the end of the world, and then he just kind of asks her what she saw, and she's like,
gone.
Oh, nothing.
Yeah,
you don't want to know.
The most shocking thing is just like, oh God, I'll never.
He's president was the other thing that she saw, which happens in the Crisis crossover, doesn't it?
It happens in Crisis. It happens. They even put it in Justice League because it's such a popular thing.
Yeah.
Like
President Luthor.
God, yeah, it's such a monumental moment that it takes so many things to take down, and I was so happy. That was the first time I ever discovered that too, and I was like, wait, what? And I looked it up in the books. I'm like, yeah, that's a thing. That's what we're inspired by, and just oh God, that's such
like a Clancy Brown. The other actor I got on my bucket list is crap. I had his name up here.
That was the best.
Kevin Michael Richardson. So he voices like Trigon in the Teen Titans, and he's the Joker in the Batman cartoon.
Yeah. Okay, that took me. Like, that sounds fairly familiar. Duh, Charlie.
And he's got like a really unique Joker voice, which everyone can probably fight me on this too.
No, he's good.
It probably wouldn't happen without Mark Hamill, but I kind of like his better than Mark Hamill's almost. It's so good.
You're good, because I mean, Mark Hamill's not doing it anymore. He dropped out as soon as.
If Kevin came back to do it instead of Mark, that would be amazing.
That's after Kevin Conroy passed away.
He's been Trigon, Darkseid, and Joker, so he's pretty like. It's like any of the villains, you could just get Kevin to do them.
He's so good.
Such a dark voice or deep voice for those characters.
Didn't he do the Arkham Origins for him as well, or is that someone else?
Yeah.
Okay. If so, that Jesus, man, like that. The way he does the laughter, phenomenal.
Yeah, his laughter is pretty unique. His whole shtick is unique with it. But I think Trigon was my favorite thing, and I met Tara Strong, who was Raven.
Yeah.
And she's Harley Quinn in the Arkham games, which is I think she seemed to really enjoy Harley. Like, I feel like she'll probably like take over that role in a bigger way now that the original actress passed away.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
that was pretty recently too.
That's right. Oh my God. Yeah, I remember they got her to do the voice of Harley Quinn before they cut it out, before they were going to do like that Suicide Squad movie. They actually got Tara Strong to come into the Arrow thing and just do like a thing, and they actually had a scene, but they cut it because they had to, because
they cast an actress.
Weird rules and stuff like that. Like, no, that can't exist if that's doing that, and it just kind of it's a double-edged sword. But yeah,
it's like the bat embargo.
yeah,
Makes sense.
man.
Tara Strong does a lot of different stuff though, so
I was very surprised at her list whenever I met her this past year with Peek. Whenever we went to like her table, I was like, she was Miss Minutes? What?
yep.
So yeah, like seeing all her roles, she was the Powerpuff Girl? No.
She
And, like,
was Miss Minutes.
yeah, it blew my mind.
Yeah, it wasn't she Bubbles in the Powerpuff Girls?
Yeah. Yep. I was
The
like,
blue
huh?
one?
And then she was doing stuff at the table. I was like, oh my god, that is her.
Yeah, she's been Raven, Harley Quinn, Batgirl.
That's right. Oh my god, she was in Titans.
And
oh my god, she was.
Yeah, the Titans Raven is probably my favorite version of her. I had her sign a picture of Raven anyway.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, I cannot believe I forgot about that. Man.
And the other person I want to meet is Ron Perlman, who does Deathstroke.
Yes, I would love his as well. He was at this past convention, but like his killer. Yeah, oh god, I know, the best, period. Like his god, the way he does like his voice and stuff like that for that, like the way he does it.
Have you seen the Hellboy animated movies? He voices him in both of those too.
I had heard about him. I never seen them.
Watch those; they're good. One of them's like a samurai kind of thing where he has to like he's like in the spirit world where he has to like use the sword to get out of, like a katana to get out of it, which is kind of cool. But it's Ron Perlman, and I think a few of the other actors do it too.
Man, that is awesome. Hold that thought just a second. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Yeah, no worries.
I gotta put this back up. Hang on, 2 seconds. I'll return, folks.
Don't worry, I can keep you entertained for 2 seconds here. I've got the next convention I'm gonna be going to. I already got planned for next year is in May. Gonna be going to Nashville International Comic Con, or ICCC, I think it's called. There's like no guests announced yet, but I guess it's usually like a huge Star Wars one, and I've got a hotel room booked to go. I'm gonna be going with JT, and that'll be fun. Be going for the whole weekend, so that'll be, I think it's May like 16th to the 18th that we're going.
Are you not entertained? Yes.
It should be good. But I'll probably be going to at least one more con before then. I'm trying to save money. That's just the other one that's the only one I've got officially planned.
That is a thing nowadays, unfortunately. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Oh man. Yeah, it's man. It's really cool to meet like people like that you've grown up like listening to. Like I didn't get a chance to meet Ron Perlman because his line, even like for MVP stuff, like his was like there was no way, and I didn't have like enough to get like a photo op with him. But yeah, like his Deathstroke voice. I mean, Monty Bennett, my buddy. Oh God, his will always be my Deathstroke. Like I know Ron Perlman did his way before, and I have that haunting voice of Ron Perlman's voice. I know I will not stop. Robin, you will not stop. You will not sleep. I will not sleep. He's like, was it real? Was it not? And this constant phantom of haunting him and everything like that. And just, God, he did so good. But like the way Manu Bennett did it, like based it off like a real special forces guy. And like his story is as phenomenal as it is. And just, I can't even do that justice. Man. Yeah, but as far as like the Smallville cast, it's so surreal. I've met every single one of them except for I asked about Callum Bloom, who played young General Zod in season 9. Which they're trying to get a hold of him for the next SmallvilleCon, which will be in Chicago. Yeah, Justin Hartley. I had a chance to meet him. I passed it up because I'm an idiot. There's something else that someone dropped out of.
I know he just did a TV show, but does he do conventions and stuff too?
He's another one who never ages. Yet again, another one. I
believe it. I want to watch that show he did. I think it's on Prime.
Yeah. Oh God. The not only Justin Hartley, but the original Aqua. Before we had Jason Momoa on Smallville, we had good old Arthur Curry was
the pilot episode.
Alan Rickman. Yeah. Oh my God. And now he's Jack Reacher on a show where he's just a.
Yeah, those guys are both on Prime with their own TV show now. That's funny.
They're so good, and they
were both Aquaman at one point.
Yep, they started out the pilot for that and everything, and oh God,
but he made it. He was such a good Green Arrow, though. I'm pretty sure they did a flashback episode where it shows his where he goes on the island.
Yeah, they did a mini thing, and they had to tie in.
Also, Fight Me, Green Arrow has always been better than Hawkeye. He's such a cool
fucking dude. My God. He was one long before we got a hold of
Hawkeye's so generic in my mind.
No, I'm sure he's the actor's a cool dude, but yet he's all right. He's not.
I mean, just the character.
No, I know. I'm the same. I grew up more with the DC stuff, so trust me, I'm 1,000% with you on that one.
Yeah,
I know that won't be much popular with a lot of people, but I'm like, I don't care. Renegade for life. I go against the grain. I loved it because, God, his range of books and stuff, like Longbow Hunters, so dark, so good. But the way they do it on the television too, they do flash back to it, alluded to, but they had to tie it into Cassie Freeman's character, Lex's sister, Tessa.
Yeah.
Oh God,
something Barker.
Yeah, Tess Mercer. That was it.
Mercer. Yeah. Okay.
Oh God, that was one of my original.
Did they ever reveal her as Lena Luthor or no?
They started to they did
they just never changed the name.
Yeah, they did a prelude after they started to a season 11 prelude book. But they stopped. But they did do a thing acknowledging that she did not completely die. She was holding back Lex's memories, and he was starting to get some back. And it was showing Tom Welling's likeness as Clark Kent doing Superman. And they have we met? And no, I'm sure we haven't. And everything like that. It was good. So I don't know what there's quite possibly going to be a season 11 down the road.
So has that actress been to those things too?
She's wanting to now. When Craig from Krypton's List was asking me about people, I've seen James Marsters twice this year, but I asked about him, and then I did ask. I was like, Cassie Freeman, and I was like, oh yeah, and I was like, yeah, do you think she'd be interested? I'll ask her, her agent. I'm like, everything, because I'm like, man, Oliver Queen, you lucky man, you. Because oh man, yeah, she's good.
Yeah,
her. I would not.
She steals a lot of scenes. She was really good, especially her introductory episodes. I was like, okay, this is a new character that I can get on board with.
Yup, same, and there's such a twist, but the people that she was linked to, they had Amanda Waller on there, for God's sakes. So it's the early stuff like that, and you're just that's the last thing you expect. And then they're just oh no, there's a organization out there.
Lionel getting rid of her as a kid, that was crazy.
Oh, that was the Earth Tube thing. That was a twist. I remember asking John Schneider about this, because I'm sure he gets a lot of stuff, but I was what do you remember about the Earth 2 stuff and everything?
Yeah, he came back.
They did wait, what's that? Because I'm sure it's been forever. He's done so many things I know, but I was like, Do you remember that? And he was like, oh yeah, I was like, Bobby. I was like, yeah, and everything like that. He's like, it was different, but I enjoyed it, and everything like that. And I asked John Glover the same thing, and I think he said it like the first thing, but he was just like, yeah, it was like he liked playing more complex stuff that he could wrap his hands around and do more of. He was more of a not a mustache twirl, but he had an objective, but he was just kind of cookie, not really cookie. I thought it was good. He always, sometimes actors or actresses can be really
His
down on themselves.
Two was really good because
Oh yeah,
he came back to the normal world,
so
right, and pretended
yep.
to be himself.
Such a kiss because I love
the company again, and yeah, he went under Lex's like skin, and
oh my god, I'll never forget
that good arc. He came back for a little while.
He did because his in Earth 2, instead of the Kents finding little Kal-El, it was a Luthor, and Clark Luthor was born, aka Ultraman, and that was such a. I cannot wait to get to that episode when they review that. I know it's gonna be way down the line, but Tom was a sinister motherfucker in that.
Yeah, that was cool.
Oh my god, scary! A Superman with no morals at all, just his. For God's sakes, his line in the thing when he got to like our world was, he thought he was talking to his test that she made it through, and his whole line was just like, "Gotta tell you, sis, this whole not having blood on my hands by lunch is really bothering me. Like, what did you do to him, Lionel? Like, just Jesus!" Like he talks about, it looks like he has like a birthmark on his arm and everything. He's like, Lex really knew how to leave a mark. Like they talk about gold kryptonite. You're like, oh, are they going to do what I think they're going to do? And like, yeah, he killed Lex in that world. He killed the crap out of him. Cain enabled him. It was
became the son Lionel wanted.
God, yeah, the Ultraman character is just
ultimate Lionel.
Yeah, that version coming through and trying to get because he's just like trying to get, because they introduced the clone of Lex Luthor and everything like that. At first, it was, he was rapidly growing, and then if you think it's gonna be like a Lex, then it like, nah, you know what, Connor Kent. It was Superboy actually.
Yeah, Superboy was fun.
Yeah, he was actually pretty decent, good, and everything like that. Man,
that's the next cosplay I'm probably gonna do is Superboy.
You would kill that. I can tell you that, especially like I know like. Still trying to give it time. I know you've probably seen it, like the last episode of the show. Okay, good. I didn't want to be that guy. But yeah, the outfit reveal, comic accurate. I was like, oh my god, they did it! The brilliant masterminds did it. They did the Superboy suit right, and then they did the other son. I was like, oh my god, they did it! And it looks so good, dude. You would kill that. I mean, if you can pull off Kingdom Come, I promise you could pull off that leather jacket. You're good. You're good.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing the well, actually the other one. I want to do Connor Kent and I want to do Nightwing, are like my top two.
Dude, Nightwing.
And there's a few different Nightwings I want to do because I know I could pull it off pretty good.
Oh my god, the Master of Bloodhaven. Yep.
But yeah, Connor, I'd want to be Superboy from the Young Justice cartoon.
Ooh, yes.
And he's got like the black long sleeve. He wears like gloves and like combat boots. It's kind of like, it's a simple one that I could, like afford to do pretty cheaply.
Didn't they do that, a version of that on, I think it was only 2 seasons, but Teen Titans, like the live action. Yeah, the live. Did they do that? I can't remember.
Yeah, they did.
Okay,
that was pretty good. They had Crypto in that too.
Yeah,
so they had Wolf in the cartoon, which is like a original dog character, but Crypto was actually in the Titans live action show.
God. Yeah, I remember that one. It was so underrated at certain parts. Like they actually got some stuff. Like, yeah.
Season 1 was really good, and then I felt like season 2 they just dropped the ball a bit.
Yeah, whenever they revealed it,
And I did like the Superboy character, and the actor was good. He got super pissed at the beginning, like he didn't know what he was, and
yeah, his
that's
heat
like how it's
vision
supposed to
everywhere. He's
be.
like, "Oh God, man, you gotta calm down," and everything like that. Just heat vision the crap out of everything.
Well, yeah, they're all like fighting. I'm trying to calm them down.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
crazy.
God. Yeah, that like, dude, when they revealed the Nightwing outfit on that, God, that looked good.
It's a good
That
one.
was so accurate to the books. It looks so good. Like even the batons and stuff like that, and the electricity. I'm like, oh my God, they did it. It's so good.
Yeah,
So good.
I'm probably in the new year. A hobby I want to pick up is sewing, and my end goal is to do the Disco Nightwing costume from the 70s.
Oh man. Yeah.
So I'll be like I'm gonna do like comic accurate like tight bodysuit Nightwing, and then I'm
Oh,
gonna do like one of the armored Nightwings, like maybe the red symbol Nightwing from.
ooh.
He's got like longer hair too.
Yeah,
In that.
yeah. I think they did the animated Beyond or something like that, if I remember
Yeah, they
right.
did.
Okay. I wasn't going bananas. Okay, good.
It might have even been like a flash forward episode in Batman the Animated Series.
Hmm? Man, so good. I love those.
Where they did it too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
That's like
right.
my end game for Nightwing.
Yeah. Old Bruce and young Bruce met. That's right. Oh yeah, Batman, Bruce Wayne. If you met each other, quiet. And this is the way it does that. I can't believe I was so green. Goes and grabs the henchman. It's funny. It's because Michael Rosenbaum voiced him and everything like that. And he's like, if you don't tell this one thing, I'll. Oh God, man, please don't kill. What'd he say, Chris? Like the Superman. What'd he say? You don't want to know. And then whenever I was a kid, I did this and this and that. That's fine.
Gets the villain to talk right away.
Yeah. Oh my God. They had such good stuff for that. That's another thing I love about Rosenbaum as well. I'm like, dude, like your voice is edged in people's memories for being Wally West, right? And like it was so cool that Mad Monster, someone made him a flash ring and like gave that, and that was like the first one that he ever got and everything like that, because very few people get like pictures of that. And I'm like, oh man, talk
about a character that like has made me cry before. That Wally West has like some really strong episodes.
Yeah, man.
And he's like the glue that holds the Justice League together. As
yeah, without him, everything goes bad dark. Yeah. Justice Boards happen. And that is not fun for people that, oh God, yeah. That was a dark, badass episode because he's like, man, we got to keep Wally West alive. Otherwise, a lot of people are going to suffer. God, it was so good. So damn good.
In the Young Justice show too, there's a Wally West. It's not Michael Rosenbaum, but he ends up sacrificing himself to like save everybody because he's like he wasn't as strong yet as there's three Flashes at this point that are like doing this crazy thing, and then what like the Wally that's like engaged / dating Artemis. Is like,
oh my God, that's right.
He just dies. It's crazy.
Impulse Bart, that's right. Yeah. He was on that. I'm trying to remember like certain. It's been so long since I've seen that, but I remember
I think it was Barry, Wally, and Impulse. That makes sense.
Man, I gotta rewatch that. It's been a while.
Yeah, I did just kind of rewatch it recently, so it was on the mind.
Nice. Man. Yeah, those are.
They do. They don't do the Green Arrow right in that show. He's kind of a dick in that show.
I thought I remembered that right. Yeah, that was
But he's in like the normal Justice League. He's like
funny
he's
and
like a freedom fighter, awesome dude. Like
he
mentor, always hitting on Black Canary. He's awesome.
Oh God, that's right. That's right. I remember. God, because I remember him and Ted Grant had like a funny episode, and then oh God, how was it he did this? It was I can't remember the circumstance, but there was this one moment where like I don't think Batman was not involved. I remember that now because you want us to what? You want us to like yeah, in case the league does go dark or something like that, and they're about ready to call it quits. And I remember Green just like he dropped like his bow. It was like, this is ridiculous. After everything that we've fought for and everything like this, and you're going to throw it in now and everything. Like he has this little monologue. I can't do it justice, but just it was so good because he was like comedy, like just like Green Arrow is Oliver Queen and everything like that, like he's supposed to be. But like when he has
outspoken,
when he has his moments of seriousness, you should probably listen. And it's God, that was such a good episode. Like, man.
Well, he convinces the Justice League to stay together at the end of JLU, I think.
Yep. Alan,
like Superman's giving his big speech after the Watchtower blew up, and then he's like, "Yeah, we're disbanding the Justice League." Blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Green Arrow gives his own speech, and kind of turns it around. And then all the people are like, on the Justice League side, and then Superman gives a new speech, and he's like, "All right, we're making a new headquarters on Earth. Let's get a." And then that's when like the
classical
Friends classic league building was put into place.
Man, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, those street level characters in Justice League.
So good.
The Question, Black Canary, and Green Arrow, I felt like were such a cool team. And if they put those into like a good live action, I would be like, yeah, just put those three and make them like the main characters of a movie. Or do like The Question movie and have
that's
Black Canary and the Green Arrow as like supporting characters.
That's right, because they had Huntress in that thing as well. I forgot about that. Oh my God. I love how they did that art. I mean, it originally started from Batman the Animated Series with Andre Romano that did that, and the way that they would draw that, it would like they would classically draw that, and then they would animate on top of that. They wouldn't animate it or anything. They would just draw a thing and then do that. Like the way that show looked and how that went to Justice League and all the other shows, phenomenal. Like I really miss those. That last episode broke me. I'll never forget that. Whenever it was just like, hey, Batman Beyond, the very ending and stuff like that. Turns out you're the son of Batman, actually. Like, what?
Yeah, the season 2.
God, that episode finale. Broke me away. Yeah, like the way they did that. It was so good. And like that was like the one last chats I had with Kevin Conroy that I talked to Will Beadle, who played Terry Guinness, and he was so nice. I've seen him a few times, and I asked him about the Return of the Joker and how they did that and everything like that. How that was exceedingly pretty dark, and they were just like, "Yeah, we were hesitant about doing that, but we got away with it." And Mark Hamill came along and did the whole thing. Oh my God, that's awesome! God, yeah, that
drawn by the Sketch Soldier. The print I got from him.
God, that's good. Hells yeah.
So sweet good. Batman Beyond stuff out there.
I can't remember the villain, but like on there, whenever it's like, wait, if he was talking to you, why couldn't the telepath get through you? Because in my mind, I'm Bruce
Batman.
Wayne. Yeah, I'm not Bruce Wayne. What does he got? He looks at.
He doesn't even say it.
Oh, that's okay. I was like, yeah, that makes sense, actually. God, yeah. Those are such good things, such good shows. Like, God, having returned, well, at least halfway when they get Ra's al Ghul back. Detective. And everybody's like, no, he killed Talia? You monster!
Took over her body.
Yeah. And
that was crazy for like the early 2000s show. I was like,
I'll never forget that. And he's like, oh, by the way, Raish, you hit like a girl. It's the smiles under that. Shut up, detective. Hits in and everything like that. And Meanwhile, he's got some of his young body back and everything like that. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. What the hell are you going to do? Terry Guinness just jumps out of the water, kicks he kicks a goon's ass and like a crocodile's ass at the same time, and like logistically, and just jumps out and just does everything. And I can't remember who voices Raish, but I know he's a famous actor. I can hear it clearly. But yeah, like the way he would do it, like, oh yes, detective. They even bought him on to it may have been the Arkham games or one of those. Like, yeah, it was. No, they didn't. It wasn't him, because I can remember the voice now. But like that dude's voice, he was in so many like of the 1990s movies. Top notch.
Yeah, Raish is one of the most underrated Batman villains.
Yeah.
Freaking Liam Neeson.
Yeah. Like he's such a awesome, complicated character, because he's, from his mind, he's actually, of course, you know, some heroes or some villains are the heroes of their own stories. Like, he actually believed that he's doing good, saving the world, trying to save the world. I love that little relationship he has with Batman, because he's like, no, that's okay. Like, he views him as a detective. I know that you're, you know, all that sort of stuff. I don't know why he always offers his daughter. That's kind of weird, but you know, whatever. Float your boat. But yeah, the
shit.
Yeah, as you do. I mean, we got Damian Wayne out of it, so I mean, I guess it wasn't a total loss.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, man. Like his thing was so crazy and so badass at the same time. Like, but then you get the complete opposite of just the Joker, who just, I'll never forget when they did the Death in a Family book, and they animated that thing. I was like, are they going to do that? And then they made like because I remember that when that book came out, because like not a lot of people were a fan of Jason Todd, and they're like, do you want to live or you want to die? And they actually did like a little submit like your little answers, and they killed them off. They made him kill them off in grand fashion. Everybody was like, oh my God, because they started killing off like a bunch of heroes at the time. This is when Death of Superman happens, and so they're like, yeah, we'll do that. And then
Superman was dead for like 2 years almost.
Yeah,
before he came back. It was crazy.
Yeah, the clones, and then the reign of Superman. Then Cyborg, John Corbin came on the picture. That was a crazy
Hank
artwork.
Henshaw.
Yes. So good. Man.
Yeah, the reign of the Supermen. That's a good. There's an animated movie about that one too. That's really good.
I've never seen that. I've seen the Dark Knight one, the part 1 and part 2. I've never seen that one, but I always heard that one was good.
Mm-hmm. I recommend it.
Definitely, yeah. If I could.
And Steel's the other Superman that's in that.
Right? Okay. Yeah. Because he comes. That's
John
whenever
Henry Irons.
Yeah, one of the covers of the book is him flying with that ginormous, you know, sledgehammer and stuff. I'm like, who the hell is that? And you
find out. O'Neal.
Oh God, yeah, right. I remember opening up comic books back in the day and finding like actual like cards and stuff like that you could get, and like, what, and everything. Like, oh God, I feel like kicking myself now, because like I would trade in books. I would still have stuff like that, and I could. You're supposed to take this out of the books, and you're like, yeah, you can sell it or keep it wherever you want. And I had so many of the original NBA players and stuff like that just from comics itself, and numbnuts here would just trade it in like, Charlie, you idiot. And I didn't know no better at the time, but now I'm just like, man, Magic Johnson, a bunch of these people that was like in the book, and they specifically put that in there. So like, here you go, man, you have an extra card. And I'm like, no.
To get more people to buy it, right?
God, I'm an idiot.
I have some comics where I have like it comes with like character cards, or like my Death of Superman one has like a tombstone card, and it has like a blurb on the back about Superman and like the episode, or the what issues to read when he actually dies,
dude. Because
it's like a big crossover event too. Yeah. I got the poster right here where it shows all the different.
Oh man, that's right, man.
The Funeral for a Friend event.
That was such a powerful episode that I remember when my friends passed away, he requested that have that same exact coffin. And
wow,
that it's such a profound writing, and such a profound thing that had so much impact on people's lives. I mean, hell, even like military and police sometimes had that logo, and it all ties back to Superman. It's just so damn good. Like, I'm really interested of what's to come next. I'm not going to throw everything away out the window. Like, Tom Lund was a perfect example of the unknown, and see how that worked out. So we'll see how that goes. But man, yeah, like I remember when that Death of Superman came out. Like by then I was smart about it though. I traded one, but I had like the original thing sealed in the black little thing, and it had like the blood logo and everything.
I feel like it sold so much, it's not even worth that much.
Dude, it's so sentimental to me because I remember getting that book and I was like, they don't really kill Superman, dude. I was such a little kid when I got it.
It's so sick. It's like the black sleeve.
God, yeah. It's just like, he didn't really kill him. And just like open up the book and you see just those brass knuckles of, like Doomsday is beating the crap. You're like, I don't want to read anymore, damn it. And just,
I got the tattered cape. Looked like a flag on the cover of mine.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I heard there was a white cover or something like that. I had the black cover. I didn't know there was supposed to be another.
Yeah, I think the one I got, it's Lois holding Superman while he's bleeding. Yeah. And then his cape is like on a pole and it looks like a flag. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll never forget those, man. When those eventually happened, I was like, oh my God. And I've seen, and since then, of course, people have done like legendary, like either concept art or like illustrations and stuff like that. I remember going to GalaxyCon and people were just like requesting people like, even John Romero, who's done like most like Marvel stuff, he was like volunteering doing that. And like, I seen like a little hint of it and I was like, oh my God, how much? And everything like that. And I was like, oh, I want to buy it, but I just, God, it's too high. God, it looks so good though. Man. Yeah.
Well, right on. I think that's a good time to maybe end the stream.
Yeah, man, this was awesome as hell. I appreciate the hell out of this.
I didn't have any more questions, so I was
thank you,
just
man.
kind of chit-chatting about DC in general there.
Someone who I can actually talk DC comics with. Usually nowadays it's Marvel and stuff like that, and it's like, no one gets this.
Yeah. Even the Marvel people, it's like they don't understand X-Men like I do. Even the X-Men are like just coming back now.
I know, and I remember a time whenever Cyclops was a badass. Not saying that he wasn't in the movies, but to me, my X-Men. I mean, we've done it. We've talked about that before, and
yeah,
everything like that. But God, is so good. But yeah, it's yeah, DC.
Yeah, those are the actors I met.
They're so nice and so cool.
Met so many of them. It was so fun. And they're all, I think all of them are Canadian, the X-Men voice actors.
Nice.
are recorded in Toronto.
Hell yeah.
But that has been the Crunchin podcast. And this is Charlie. I'm Percyman. Thanks for joining us. You can find all the links down in the description below about what we've talked about and who we are. Catch you in the next one. I'm sure we'll both be back. Peace out.
Always hold on to Smallville.